Folks, we're back with FIDE Master Paul Whitehead here, and the only other team with 4.5 points, apart from Best Chess School, is Excel Chess Club Team 5, led by Grandmaster Enrico Sevillano, and a trio of strong A players. And these guys, especially Ashik Uzman, with a perfect 5-0 on board 4, is the linchpin of.
Yeah, that's it. When you have somebody that hot on your team, it's easy to win the matches. So Ashik has been terrific, but of course Enrico Sevillano has been holding the tough guys on the top board and getting some crucial points and 1 or 2 crucial wins.
And we must say that. I want to get her name pronounced correctly, although I'll never do that. Sikhanchimeg Tsogsaken is also perfect 5-0 for the Berkeley Chess School. Can we woo it?
And Brian Doyle, he's 5-0
Is he
or 4.5,
5-0?
I
Yeah.
think. It's some 4.5.
Okay, great. And now we're getting the.
Hi guys. So this is the standings. And this is the
And this is Judith Starry here, one of the organizers of this event, and like myself and Nick, working for the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, the country's oldest chess club in the United States, that's putting on this event.
But Judith and Abel have put in countless hours to make this event.
Yeah,
so
this is pretty exciting out here. We even have Hosea Stearman playing for Berkeley, right?
for the last round. He showed up for the last round and got pulled in.
Yeah, and he's playing on board, way down there.
obviously.
No, I think he's on board 4 for his team and is playing a 1300 player.
Josiah?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Well, he has to play board 1, I think. I don't think he's...
By rating?
By rating,
Okay,
but...
I'm wrong.
But let's...
So anyway, it's a fun event.
Yeah.
It's a fun event with some funny team names like the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, who are in a tie for 3rd place.
And Paul, how are the 4 brothers doing? I love that name.
Yeah, the 4 brothers. They're not on here in the top. I'm not sure. I haven't been following them.
Yeah, so they are on table, I think, table 8.
Right.
So currently probably around 15 or 16.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Or something like that, if my math is correct. Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Maybe not because of the pairings. Anyway.
Right. Okay.
So hi
this-
Jim, how are you?
this thing
Jim
is-
is giving us a hard time. He's saying we are taking too many breaks.
Well, if you come back here and sit with us and whip us in line, shout out to Jim Eade and the Jim Eade Foundation, supporting chess around the world, and the Mechanics Institute as well. So.
Just to wrap up, so this is the round 6 of a 6-round tournament. So this is the championship round, which championship title is on the line. Whoever wins this tournament will be called the U.S. Amateur Team West champions. And each region, north, south, and east, will crown one champion. And those champion team will meet up online later this year, either late spring or summer or maybe early fall. And they're going to play an online match, which is historically through chess.com, I think, or maybe ICC, I don't know. And usually Karol Jaransky is the chief TD for that tournament. And then that will crown the US amateur team national champions. But the West is a national title that the teams will earn. And also the best team name. So we're gonna find out who is voted for the best team name. There's a ballot out there, and then every team can vote for three teams. And the team with the most votes will, the top three teams with the most votes will get free entries to Mechanics Institute chess events, tournaments held at our club.
I like Nightmare on Bayshore.
Yeah.
That's a great
That's
name.
a great
That's a
name
good
for a
name.
chess-
I also am biased, but I like Her Story Makers instead of History Makers.
Oh, that's
Her
good.
Story
Yeah,
Makers.
yeah.
So
The Monterey Pawn Slingers.
yeah, exactly. So
Lots of fun names.
Yeah.
lots of fun names. Jim is asking, how do we handle breaks, tie breaks? There's a official U.S. amateur tie-break system. I think the first one is game points, and the second one I'm not 100% sure. But let me grab the information, and I'll be back, and then I can explain the viewers that. It's also posted, hopefully online, and definitely out in the hallway for everyone to learn and get educated and do their calculation of what if happens. So it's fun.
Well, the Berkeley Chess School, Can We Woo It, won't need tiebreakers if they win this match.
If they win, they won't. Little shout out to the other Berkeley chess team that they are actually playing. Is Gabriel Bick is leading the team with Ladia on second, Ryan on third board, and Ben on fourth board. So Gabriel just got his IM norm in the fall, I think, and so we are really happy. And a little promo for Gabriel. He actually attends University of the Pacific, and he's doing the chess club at Pacific, where I'm from, and in Stockton. So we are very happy about and congratulate him on
So he
his...
must be Stockton's strongest chess player.
He is Stockton's strongest chess player, no
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
And we are very happy about his recent IM title.
Very
So
cool.
congratulations, Gabriel. And he was the last game finishing in round 5. So he won his game on board 1, and that put that team in a winning that they won the match.
Right,
So
gotcha.
and I happened to be there, so I recorded I think 4 or 5 minutes of video, and I uploaded on Facebook. So if you're interested in the last few minutes of the most exciting end game, tune in, because I just posted it on Facebook because it was fun. It was fun. And hats off to his opponent. It was a tough game, and they were down to seconds, and so it's interesting. So it's a lot of fun. So they well earned in their place on the first table against the Wu team. So
Yeah, let's see how these folks are doing.
We
here.
have some exciting games.
very
this
exciting
last
games.
round.
Yeah.
And before I say goodbye, and you
Okay.
guys can tune in, let's do a shout out for Abel too.
He's playing right now.
He's playing right now. I
Okay.
think on board in the third table. He's playing for a Berkeley team. That Berkeley team don't have their usual board 1, so they had to move up, and then they asked Abel to find someone, but they really wanted a Berkeley player. UC Berkeley player, and
Grad, right?
Abel is an alumni, so
Alumni.
he
Yeah.
calls himself Berkeley. I don't know why, but so he jumped in.
Well,
So let's
that's a chance for him to represent his
alma
his
mater.
Alma mater, yeah.
Exactly, and the chance for
can-
you guys to pick him apart.
Is
right?
he on? Okay, this is great. Yeah, let's.
Sounds good. Thanks for having
Let's
me,
give him
and
a hard time.
if you need anything, let me know.
Thank you,
Of
Judith.
course, of course.
All right. Okay.
Well, Paul, why don't we jump into the first match?
All right,
There's
okay.
first 2-3 boards. There's
Let's
lots
go.
of action happening.
Rochelle Wu is white against Gabriel Bick, and these. So let's go. Shall we go to the opening?
Sure. It's we get this sort of same-ish King's Indian, and Gabriel hits him in a moment with the C5 move to. Yes, this is a pawn sacrifice. If you take it, where black gets compensation. So
Known for quite a long time.
So Rochelle just declines it, and knight c6.
Still, there's the offer of the pawn,
Yes.
but again, Rochelle's having none of it.
And you get this Benoni type of position.
And all pretty standard looking moves, but black plays b5 now.
Yes, it's a very double-edged game, and probably you could take the pawn, although there'll be a queen b6 at the end.
That's
So
a calm little move.
she just wants to,
Play f4 and
yes, if the pawn goes to b4, the knight comes to b1 and to d2. So,
so white can leave the tension there for
Yes.
a while.
but knight c4 seems a little strange, and Rochelle has to take that. So black has this play on the b file, but you could have thrown in bishop f4 first.
White's just playing very direct moves,
Yes,
like just taking the pawn and
but black has play on that b file, sort of like a Benko gambit.
right.
Still, I prefer white, objectively.
Black is thinking of his continuation,
Maybe rook on f to b8 might be a good move.
right?
Could do rook a to b8.
Okay, the game is still going on. That's board one of this match between the two Berkeley Chess School teams. Very exciting here. Both of these teams, the BCS Can We Woo It is a perfect 5-0. And
So let's go to the second
their
board
second
where
board.
Rochelle's brother is playing, and this is a wild and crazy game.
Yeah, let's see how this came about. The old Sicilian defense.
And the dragon variation.
So right
Derek
away going
Wu.
for a fight.
Yes.
Yeah, this is,
I like Derek Wu's style.
yeah. Nick, you used this to beat me once in Berkeley. Or no, you played G4, I think, in a tournament that we played, in a people's tournament.
This is the classic old main line of the dragon, almost
Right,
60 years old.
yeah.
b5 now. Okay, some players have played e5, but
With black here,
well, no, with white.
Uh-huh.
But okay,
back here.
this is takes, and okay, you've got this nice e file, but black has pawns on the queen side.
And sets them in motion.
Yes. So, yeah, it seems to me black has a quite a fair initiative here.
King G8 is an interesting move.
Well, black would like to play the middle game attacking, and queen b6 would allow queen d4 check, trading the queen.
Gotcha. Okay. So would a h4 be an alternative strategy here, going straight for black's king?
You certainly could have tried that.
Yeah.
You do have to worry a little pawn to a4 and bishop to f5. I
Right.
don't know if black would
That's true. That's
stop
true.
with pawn to h5.
That's true. Okay.
But that's still
That's still possible here. But black chooses this way of playing the pawns instead of that
b4
other
to
way.
open things up.
So if a4, bishop a2, bishop f5, I guess pawn to c3.
Pawn to c3 seems to work. Yeah, I don't think you can tear things up with b4, a takes b4, a3. That's 2 pawns is too many.
Well, we're going to have some other master commentary here in a little bit. I think we're getting a surprise guest, Nick.
Ah, okay, excellent.
So this happens, b4.
Now you could lock it up with pawn to a4.
Oh yeah.
Okay, those.
Yeah, I was actually watching this, and Ladia played b4. These last 2 moves were played very quickly, and Ladia almost instantly played a takes b4. Without even thinking about it, really. But maybe you're right. Maybe pawn to a4 would be correct here.
It's a different line. I mean, then there's queen to e8. You win
Right.
that a pawn. So
are you saying this is a book? No. It could be, though, huh? They're moving
certainly
fast.
These ideas have been played before.
Right. They're moving fast. b8, queen g4, e7.
Rook takes b3.
Right.
So black is
All right.
tearing things up.
We're getting some heavyweights in here. Here comes Hosea Stearman to set us straight, Nick.
So Hosea, were you playing a game now?
Yeah, I was. I was in the area and I decided to drop by, and one of the Berkeley players didn't want to play his game, so I just subbed in for him.
And how'd you do?
I won.
You won?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quickly, apparently.
Yeah, apparently pretty quickly. What do you think of this game? This has been a...
So I saw this as some like dragon, right? So I assume bishop f5 and rook e4 is going to be played.
Right. And then queen e1 is impossible because of rook takes e1. So
well, I suspect rook e4 instead
how does
of
black keep
rook
the
e3.
pressure up after white plays rook to e4?
Yeah.
Because Derek Wu has played very quickly, so we assume he knows what he's doing if this happened. You play rook to a8, I guess, to...
Yeah, so I was thinking of rook a8, maybe it's like a...
And you could, then it might be queen to a4, rook a8, queen to a4, queen to d8, queen back to d4, queen back to a. They might do a draw from this dynamic position, and we'd be upset.
Right. It's been an interesting game. Let's move on to the... or do you want to keep looking at it?
I mean...
Black has to be active here. Okay.
I mean, yeah, if black can't do anything, he's just down 2 pawns.
Exactly. Okay.
Board 3 and 4 of this
Yeah,
match?
let's go to board 3. One of these fairly typical...
I mean, I feel like this is going to be definitely deciding...
One of the deciding games.
Because Sahan Jimek is 5-0
and having the tournament of her life here, I think.
But she's outrated in this matchup.
She does have white, though.
She has white and still a pull from having the first move here, I think.
And she's content with the draw, I'd say.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
As long as Brian Doyle is doing well, and he's been carrying.
Okay, so he already won.
He's already won.
My God,
Yeah,
let's take a look at this.
This opening went south for white really quickly.
I think Ben is one of Brian's students. if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
hard to play against your teacher.
Yeah. So what's the correct move here? Taking on d5.
Pawn takes
Yeah.
d5. Pawn takes d5.
I think
castles.
this is already a step in the wrong direction, I think.
Too
Bishop
slow.
d2. And then again, white needs to just play pawn takes d5 and starts getting into trouble here.
Yeah.
And amazingly now it's lost for.
By force, I think. Yeah, this is...
And it looks like knight takes e4, attacks the bishop on b4, but boom,
Brian Doyle
Lays down
hitting
the
with
hammer.
a
lays
tactic.
down, yeah, terrific move. No, nothing saves white here. Amazing.
And it's a clear piece. It's
Nothing for it.
it's
Yeah.
Except
amazing.
some double pawns.
Yeah, those double pawns would worry me right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice combination. Almost one for the books.
Took care of business.
Yeah.
Took care of
And that means that this is
That
the
really
move.
sets the tone for the match
Yeah.
too, because Berkeley's best chess school needs to win the match. They can't just draw, so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need to go 2.5 out of the last three.
Brian
Yeah,
Doyle
yeah.
does his thing. And then there's this very interesting team, Sevillano's team, which is, one nice, strong grandmaster versus with 3 A players on his team.
Yeah, well,
But
he's-
one of them has gone 5-0. Ashik.
Ashik?
Yeah.
I mean, he's historically done very well on the amateur team West. So
Shall we go? This is
he was on the winning team, like either it was last year or 2 years ago with Excel Chess Club.
That's right. And here he is again.
So Enrico with his funky openings as usual.
Okay. So this is a Panov Botvinnik attack? Is that how this came about? I wasn't paying
No.
attention.
Oh, I guess it transposed into a Panov.
yes.
Okay.
So this, yes, and it's kind
This
of
is
like
a-
a Queen's Gambit,
Right.
except it's
Attacking players like to play these kind of things.
Bishop B1, a pretty direct move.
Yeah,
That's,
I like.
No threat at all.
I guess.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Queen E3 is coming.
Now that's a very quick exchange, and I take C3. It's
Giving White a little bit of what he might want there.
yes.
So, well,
Okay, but the-
Mike is a canny player here.
Okay,
G6 is
stopping
forced.
checkmate.
White's pieces.
Well, at least it took 2 moves. From bishop had to go to B1 and back to C2, so black should be.
Black should be okay here.
Yes.
Because of that. Okay. All right. This is a little
Still
fishing.
looks pretty scary though,
Yeah.
I would say.
Little fishing expedition there with Bishop A4, A6.
I would have gone rook C8 first. I mean, you have bishop F8 is another possibility.
Okay.
Yeah,
Queen
I think-
D5.
Which could be fine unless you get hit with C4 at some
So
point.
it
that's
is
a
Queen
tough-
H5 and then Queen D2 is played, or Queen E3 was played.
So sharp game. I think Sevillano thinks he needs to win this, or
Definitely he does.
Yeah.
Wow, he's higher rated
Right.
by 300 points, and he's got the white pieces.
Yeah.
So
So Mike is under a little pressure here,
I feel like Mike always gets into these positions where he's
like hanging by a
he's
thread.
just getting beat down and somehow trying to escape it.
Uh-huh.
That was my game against him.
It's not a good way to play the openings.
Yeah.
That's my way often of playing openings. I hate it. I don't know enough theory sometimes. Okay, so we think White's better here?
I
Yeah.
would say so, yes.
Okay.
let's see the other 3 and
Yeah.
get a sense of this
This
match.
is Dana McKenzie's another floored master, I think, right? Or maybe he's over. I'm not sure if what his rating is.
Oh, I like this. He has gone for the gusto here, sacrificing a piece.
He's 2140, so.
Yeah. No, he's a good player, and he's playing.
And it looks
A
like he's
rule.
taking care of business here quite
Yeah,
easily.
this
Oh,
is
wait a minute.
nice.
He's knocked down a piece. He's got this
No, yes.
fantastic knight on F5,
believe
and he's
even-
sacrificed nothing?
I believe even if he did, he would still be.
Yeah, this is White firmly in
Oh,
control here.
this is terrible.
This
You
is a
could
disaster.
Take
for
A3 off,
Black.
knight on A3 off the board, and I still would prefer White possibly.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
probably true.
How did this go wrong?
Okay,
Only
let's
20
look.
and Black's-
Let's go. Let's look at this. This is a Sicilian defense.
Okay, then
Interesting.
just getting out of the book lines,
Right.
developing.
Both players are going their own way.
Yeah, this is
Not
not the
hand-
way. If you're gonna play that way on the queen side, you don't want to play castle king side. Like castle queen side, there.
Oh,
E5 is
Either
Oh, God,
E5
yes.
is very atrocious as well.
And F5 screams to be played.
Yeah.
And he castles kingside,
And he
which
castles
makes matters even
kingside.
just
Did
worse.
G4 come?
Yeah. This is sort of
Ooh.
textbook how not to play these positions.
I've played the black pieces in a few close Sicilians, and
This is where this is still a player strategy for black here and needs to be unlearned. You know, this is the difference
there's
between
no way that
experienced,
black-
experienced players.
there's no way black thinks he's okay at this point of the game.
C4 is a kind of a nice move in a way, right?
Well, just shuts it down
shuts
because
it
you're
down.
winning on the king side.
Shuts it down. You guard d5. You're not really worried about a knight coming to d4.
Yeah, I like that move, and it doesn't necessarily occur to me that easily to play that, but I like it. The more I see it, the more I look at it, the more I like it.
I mean, he could have gone F6. But
Yeah.
all right. This is
that too.
this is firmly in control. So
I played that
I mean,
move
you could really-
against one of the McCartney Sneeds, I think, once, and his bishop stood at H8 for like the rest of the game.
I mean, I feel like in this position you can play it whenever you want because f6 is not going to be played as black, so there's no rush.
yes.
And Queen E1 is preparing Bishop A5 maybe, or Queen H4.
Yeah, he's preparing f6, then knight f5
Yeah, okay.
as well.
So is black helping?
But
with
pawn
this?
takes F5. Now that
No, this-
knight is just a
yeah.
monster.
This is
So White has a little bit of an embarrassment of riches here. You know,
all the time in the world practically.
I would do.
I would
queen
play like
H4.
b3 here, just like absolutely no counterplay for you.
He's probably wondering if Bishop A5 wins in some easy way, but probably
Yes,
not.
that as well probably is.
Queen H4, maybe with the idea of playing G6 and Knight E7 check.
That does work.
That's yes. Queen H4 I like a lot because
It does have a little cheap threat. Yeah.
Well, this.
Okay, let's move on. We're enjoying
We're just
ourselves too
enjoying
much.
White's position a little too much here.
Here is a very important game in this match, and that is
Exita needs.
Exita Aswaran versus Marshall Polaris, and
We think Exita needs to win for her team.
yeah, I'm trying to find out which. Okay, she's playing for XL
Or draw.
too.
Oh wait, no. I mean, if Sheik wins on board 4, then she would just need to draw. Because she is playing a higher rated, so.
Okay. What's going on here?
Wow, this is pretty solid so far for both sides.
Okay, let's move on to the.
Paul likes the.
Oh, now here we go.
Well,
What's blood and guts?
when Ashik
Yeah,
is
White's
playing,
completely winning.
oh my God,
Okay, so.
Ashik is losing.
No, this is. Oh, Sheik,
Yeah.
yes, right.
Rook H7.
So this is already 2 points in the bag for Team Colty.
Oh
I would
my
say.
Yeah.
God, what an upset I would say. That's
Paul-
I wouldn't say. I mean, Paulo is a solid 2100.
Okay. Then
Ashik just hasn't played anybody.
that's
this tournament.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been a little bit lucky being on board 4 and had momentum going there. So,
the Dutch defense.
This is like kind of like a Staunton gambit declined.
yeah. I'm not sure that Black's second move was even that good, right?
No, when you it's nice if White can get pawn to E4 on the third move.
Right.
It's-
Yeah. This is extremely risky move for Black here. Let's see what happens. Ashik just thinks he can get away with. This is a very simple way to play, right?
This is very typical Dutch position like this, and I played it many times, and I absolutely.
George Thomas, right?
I
the
absolutely-
There's a
it
famous
was,
game with this.
Was that
Edward
Lasker?
Lasker.
Edward
Yeah, the double-
Lasker
yeah,
against
the Lasker,
George
right.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Wait, this is where the king came. You sacked the queen, and the king came all the way down.
Yeah,
And the castle queen
yeah.
side was made.
But d5 was not played in that game, but played like queen
yeah,
e7. Or
I've played many positions like this with black, and I just detest
Well,
it.
all right. Black is trying to get the pieces out quickly.
Yes.
So
this is typically what happens.
I guess this is forced to take
Yeah.
on f6. I guess gf6 was possible, but those structures are difficult to play.
Yeah, maybe you should have played rook e8. Then
I mean, you
bishop
really need to get
d5.
e5 in, because now once white controls e5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too slow.
Oh, and you play b5. Like, look at this light square bishop on d7. It's like such a sad piece.
White's ready to play knight e5 and just sort of... Yeah, okay, so black made it worse by playing b5, I guess, but maybe there's nothing to be done here. g5? Oh.
Well, you can do rook e7,
Yeah.
bishop back to e8, and try to bring it to h5. But now you have a color complex problem.
It's interesting that white allowed that, but I guess the change in structure there is the right way for white to play that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not
might
sure
have gone
either.
a3 and just kept the...
Right.
Well, this also looks quite good for white.
Yes, the dark squares are weak in any
Right,
case.
like put the rook on e3, and then you can play a3 at some point. It's kind of hard to apply pressure on that.
So queen h4, bishop g6. And then
It's clever.
queen d4. Yeah. White's playing sharply.
Queen h4, bishop g6.
So it was played, so.
Yeah. Oh, it was played. Okay. Black goes for it.
Queen d4. Oh, that's asking for it.
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
he was kind of like ready to take a ride anyway, I think.
Okay, I admit it's. I'm not
Wait,
sure
can-
Braid
that
is
wins
the
the
right
queen,
move.
right?
Yes.
I mean, rook takes e6 looks.
Is that mate? Rook e6?
Well, I guess you go king d8 and you're fine.
Rook e6, king d8, huh? So queen g7
Queen
is the
g7 simply
move.
just
You know,
wins it.
all right. This position is lost. Is there any possible defense? Sheik has played so well, and something like queen f2, cashing in, trading. You win the pawn on a2 check.
So you could play queen f2, rook f2, king takes f2, and throw in rook takes a2 check.
But then rook e2.
I mean, that bishop on d7 is just so bad. I really don't.
White
think black-
king marches into the white.
Well, the position is quite
Yeah.
bad, but it's your choice of evil, and that one, maybe there's some hope in the end game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. It flashed through my mind to play queen f2 check as well.
I don't really think there's any hope there, but I mean, it's certainly better than what happened in the game. Like here, you simply lost it.
Yeah.
Black king must run that way. I mean, king h8, rook h3, forget it, I guess. Well, is it worth looking at? King h8, rook h5, I guess.
Rook h5 is a strong move.
Yeah.
Yes, that's unfortunate. No, it's hope
Okay.
chess. You're hoping there's something that can work for
Right.
you,
This black now loses the queen
and for a rook. Well,
And a bishop.
and a bishop, but
Oh no, bishop's
What-
gone. Rook
yeah,
h6, queen g7.
okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, time to resign now.
He's playing on for his team, but
yes, there's
this is
just no hope.
This is Sheik's. Yeah. Okay. So that means this match.
Well, Ashik, you had a great tournament. One bad game in the end.
Yeah.
but You have to rely on your
And
teammates.
Ruyan, okay, let's keep moving on here.
Just what is the score in this match?
It will be
before we move?
2-0 after I expect Dana
Because
to win that game.
Dana
against
will
Aurora.
win, Paolo won, and so Enrico only has to draw to win that match.
Well, no, Enrico is on the other team.
Oh,
Enrico's on the other team. You have it in front of you.
right, sorry. So Enrico needs to win, and
This is-
Axitha needs
But
to win.
this is big,
Oh, that's
though.
possible. That's
This is
possible.
big though, because it now means that nobody can catch the top two boards. I mean, the top board. Nobody can catch the top board anymore. It's either can we woo it or best chess school that can win the tournament now.
Well, no. Oh, because Colty has beaten
Because-
Excel.
Right, Excel was the only 4.
Right. Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
Yeah, Colty's at least tied Excel.
Exactly.
So this
I
is-
believe it's tied Excel.
Colty had an incredible tournament.
My God, what I look at the team and I think, oh, you're not really going to win, are you? But why not?
5 points out of 6. That's fairly reasonable.
That's
result.
incredible.
Assuming they win this
Fantastic.
match, I think
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will.
I think they will too.
They just need a draw on board 3.
And what about this game? Is this who is she playing? Oh, this is still. Have we looked at this game? Yeah.
We kind of glanced over it.
Right.
It's fairly
Nothing
equal,
much
fairly,
going
yeah,
on
fairly
here.
equal position.
Yeah.
That'll be a long game.
Yeah, it will.
Um,
Unlike the other two.
So
Oh, let's see this game. Henry Wang has been having a great tournament.
and this is. He's board number 1 for Pink Fluffy Unicorns.
So I think they will win the top name prize.
Okay.
I've been going around seeing what people voted for as the
Is
best
that
name,
right?
and Pink Fluffy Unicorns has been.
We liked, what was it, Massacre on, I can't remember.
Bayshore.
Bayshore, yeah. I forgot, what's it called? I liked Bayshore,
Nightmare on Bayshore.
Nightmare on Bayshore, yeah.
Someone had a team name idea, Caruana virus.
Caruana virus, huh?
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win the candidates match? I mean, the candidates
I mean,
tournament.
of course, I would like either Caruana or. So is in it, right? Or is
No.
it? Okay, so it's just Caruana is the only.
Only
not-
Caruana's
American.
Okay, only American. So obviously, I would like Caruana to.
It's Caruana and Ding and
Actually,
3 Russians, Grishuk,
Alexenko.
and
Nepomniachtchi.
Nepomniachtchi, and Jiri and Rajabov. Those are the players.
I actually would like to see it.
Wang
And
Ho.
Wang
Yeah.
Hao.
Wang
I would
right.
like to see a Ding Liren Carlson World Championship.
Yeah, that would be something else.
I do want Caruana to win though.
Right,
You know, fellow U.S. players. So.
right, yeah.
Well, it's tough. I mean, those two were the favorites, but you have all these other good players.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's-
right.
any of them could have a great event.
So, Nick, what do you think about Wang Hao's chances?
Well, he's the real underdog.
Yeah.
So
Same with Alexenko
Alexenko also.
and Rajabov.
Rajabov maybe less so.
Less so, but I still think he hasn't been playing in a very long time.
Right.
He really came out of retirement, one tournament, and managed to get into the candidates.
Kind of shows you how that
Yeah.
is really actually and maybe he felt he had nothing to play for, and that helped him a lot.
He
you know?
had gotten his rating to 2,800, so he has played with this level of
Yeah.
player.
Right. He has. Yeah.
But yes, Grishuk has a chance. He's good. Nepomniachtchi has a chance, and well, Ding and Caruana, of course. So it's sort of like what was it? The 1962 candidates. You weren't sure who was going to win that with Karas, Petrosian, Fischer, Tall.
And Tall ended up winning it, right?
Well, that was 1960.
Oh, 1960, yeah.
1962, a lot of players were about even. It was very close.
All right, and who won that? Kurosawa?
Petrosian.
Petrosian.
Remember that guy?
That's right. Okay.
And his son is a very good chess player as well.
I don't think that's his son.
Is it not?
No.
Oh,
Let's
then
look
I
at-
am.
Let's
Massive
keep
mistake
running
in there.
through these things. Candidate master. This is
I
still the
assumed,
fluffy dragon, fluffy unicorns versus the UCB team too,
Okay.
with Abel Talamantes. We have to get to his game for
David,
sure. Brian
Oh,
Doyle,
Brian, good game.
you did your part, man. What was your final score, Brian?
5 out of 6.
All right.
Who took a
5
game?
out of
Two-
6.
2 draws.
I drew a 1600, and then I had another draw with like a 2050. Actually, I was going to set a world record with that game. I had no idea. So it was going to be, if I kept playing, which I was planning on playing, but a draw would have gave us the match. It could have been the longest game without a single capture. The longest game before a single capture. We made it like 48 moves without taking anything.
Uh-huh.
And if we had
Oh,
made
this
it like
game.
another like 40 moves, it actually could have been a world record game.
Is that right?
Right. I mean, of course, we weren't trying to do that, but it just got locked up.
yes, you had it locked up where if you needed to win the game, you could have done something and sacrificed. But your
Right.
team was doing well, so you thought, why risk anything?
I had one opportunity. It was a touch move. He touched his bishop, and he was planning to go to A8, but it blunders a pawn, so he went to C6.
And you could have.
I could have broken through with B5, sacrifice a pawn, and I like chickened out, but it's obviously better for me.
Huh.
And so I missed my opportunity there. Otherwise, any other sacrifice I try for is probably bad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just maneuvering, hoping for some blunder opportunity. It just never happened.
Right.
Well, you were playing for the team all the time here. And
Right.
So far, the team has done great.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't like upset about the position locking up because we looked good on boards 2 and 3. So I said, okay, if something drastic happens, I just played for about an hour and a half. And if something weird like 2 or 3, somebody blundered, then maybe I could go crazy in my game. But I figured draw's good as long as these boards stay up. And once I knew Sahajimek was going to win, I figured, okay. And then I took the draw and got out of there. So I was just kind of watching the other boards the whole time.
Well, having you here, why don't we
Yeah,
review
yeah.
the top match? And
Sure.
Yeah, you're here. First, let's look at your brilliancy.
yes, yes.
I feel like I played poorly.
No, I think this was kind of a model game for Black. I mean, White made some mistakes, and Black just went in and took advantage of them, and
Yeah,
that's
I feel
all
like
she wrote.
bishop to d2 is White's mistake.
That's the start of it, for sure.
Yeah, so
Now, Josiah was saying that Ben has been your student.
yeah, he's Berkeley Chess School. Yeah, we taught him. Man, I love Ben. I gave him a ride home on Saturday. So he might not like me very much right now, but no, I mean Ben's like one of my favorite students. I work with him every Sunday.
Nice.
He's not in my class. He works with the Grandmaster, but I teach below his class, and he's like a brother, right? He's a Berkeley brother, so I look out for him.
Didn't you suggest for him to?
Yeah, I was the one that suggested that he join Ladia's team. So I'm the one that got him on the other team
And
that we're
did you
playing
suggest
now.
Bishop to D2 for him?
No.
See, he showed
Not
up
your
for
fault.
he showed up for the game. He was like, "This is how you play against what I'm gonna play. You play Bishop D2." And then,
Well, I did show
He's
him
the
after the
best student
game.
I've ever seen.
I did show him after the game when I lost to Grandmaster Seviano. But after the game, I said, okay, well, this is how I lost to the GM in the same line. So wait until the game's over and then teach him.
All right, so castles.
Yeah.
And you can win a pawn right away by playing Bishop C3.
And I think
at
I should have.
94.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, we like what you did better.
well, because like here it gives White the chance to take on D5.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of in the main line with his bishop misplaced.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Black would be better in that position, maybe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost a loss of a tempo to go
Yeah,
bishop
White would
D2.
be, Black would be better, I think,
Right.
after takes. And now this is great, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
And
he could play F3 maybe.
should play F3.
But then black is certainly better, kind of
Yeah,
weak
yeah.
in king side.
I was planning bishop C5 and then going from there maybe. But I wasn't sure. Oh, I was happy to see that.
Well, this is refuted by force.
Yeah, I'm winning a pawn by force
But
now, I
you
think.
don't notice that immediately. It looks
Right.
like everything's covered.
Yeah, this is very
It
instructive.
looks like White's has a solid pawn structure.
And yeah, before, of course, bishop g4 developing that way, he always had like queen take queen tricks if I try to go for the pawn, and I took those out.
So you're winning a piece here, right?
No, he should move his bishop.
Oh, you should just move his
Bishop c4 or bishop f1. But I'm happy with this position now.
News from the tournament, Reka?
Raker, are you going to come join us for a minute?
I probably don't have much interesting to say, but I will.
Well,
Now,
Okay.
Brian's just won one of the games on the top board, putting his team in an early lead, so it's pressure on the opponents. They feel they have to win. That's,
right.
Congratulations.
Well, it's my job. I have to win this one quickly.
actually, why don't you come take this seat? We'll have a...
No, there's a, yeah. All right, you'll be back.
Yeah, I need to bring the plug back.
So, White should move the bishop.
Yeah, bishop
So
f1, bishop c4.
Okay.
That's what I was
Bishop
expecting.
a6 maybe.
Bishop a6, maybe even better. Yeah.
But it's okay. It's bad. He didn't plan to just lose a
Right,
pawn.
right.
Yeah.
And thought, I can just play knight e4, but then we see the genius of Brian Doyle. Wham, rook e4.
I think it works. Yeah.
I think it does work.
And it looks like he would at least get two pieces for a rook or something, but then
Yeah.
nothing works.
Yeah, nothing works.
Yeah.
No, it's
This is what separates the. This is what I try to get my students always to be on the lookout for.
This is what
Are these
separates
kind of
the
tactics?
children from the men in the chess world.
And then just everything just works perfectly for black. Bishop
Yeah.
d2.
He
White
kinda
has
missed that I
no
had knight f6 at the end of
There's
the line.
no Schweissenzug getting out of this.
I love how Paul said that.
Yeah. And just
Simple.
clockwork, like Nick pointed out, everything.
Yeah.
But the double pawns are a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't give a clean piece. Like, there's clear compensation here for White for the piece. Like,
He didn't think so. He resigned pretty quickly after this.
well, I like what he did. He knows
Yeah.
he's lost, so he just
Yeah.
charges ahead to make it worse. And,
Right. Yeah.
And then he can justifiably resign and even
Okay,
his team.
and
And
so
at this
what-
point, I could tell he had given up.
Yeah, White made a few moves. Very good. Let's look at your teammates, how they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was interested in Ladia's game, but yeah, we should look at this one first.
Yeah, let's look at this one. Looks to me like White got pushed around a little bit. Rook a2 is not. Whew. Is that a move you want to play?
It's never easy being board one.
Yeah.
No, she's had to sort of take all.
so is this like a Benko gambit? Is this what this is?
Or maybe a Benoni.
It was a.
King's Indian transposed to a kind
Samish.
of Benoni.
Oh,
Samish
yeah,
with
okay.
c5, pawn sack, declined with d5, right? Dun 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 dun.
Oh, this is like mainline. Oh, I play this. I
Right.
play this as White.
Okay, tell us then what you would have done differently, maybe.
I think I would have played this.
I've seen you can just allow black to play b5 as
Yeah.
one way to play it for.
I mean, I don't
White.
play this very well here as White. I just play it as White. So I can't exactly.
So their a5 was another possibility,
Yeah,
maybe.
But then after even b5, like if you, it's not really advantageous to take on b6, because then the open b file for black.
So there's another choice where just White passes in a way by playing h3, and that's an interesting move that kind of turned out well for black, I think, huh? Maybe even though it didn't look like it at first sight.
Now it's like a Benko gambit. You
So
get-
bishop f4,
Yeah.
maybe? Trying to disrupt some of the...
Yeah, so she took immediately on c4. I don't see
Yeah, maybe...
the rush to do it, or like...
Or even if it's a good move, that pawn might be... So what if bishop f4?
You would have to go knight to e8.
Yeah, actually, but knight e8 looks like a pretty good move there. Like, opening up the bishop to possibly take on c3 or play like bishop d4 check.
So what about e5?
Interesting.
Oh, now that's a positional way to play.
Wow.
Oh, Paul, I think that's,
Well,
yes,
okay.
take some of the fun out of white.
What if you
or
play
black's
e5
play.
after taking c4 and rook a b8, then you play e5?
Okay, yeah, that's another thing.
So like here, e5.
Now e5. Would black have rook b4? Yeah, it's like white didn't choose the white's
Yeah.
just like I took a pawn, now I'm gonna defend it, and
Very passive way.
yeah, a little bit lackadaisical.
But
sort
he-
of show me, but I sometimes there's a place for playing chess like that, but maybe not here.
Well, she's got a pawn.
Right,
She's defending, even if she loses a pawn back.
right.
So,
But there's a sense that you're giving black what black wants too here.
Jesse Christ said that even when you win a pawn, the bummer is that it usually activates the opponent's pieces, even when you don't want to. Like when you win back material, it's just the pieces somehow get activated.
Now the black knight is on e8, but the black rook escaped from f8 to b8. So that changes a lot, I think, as well.
okay, but
But yeah,
hold
okay.
your ground.
All right.
Stand your ground.
Stand your chest ground. And rook a2 is enough to prevent to say to black, go for it. What are you going to do?
Yeah, black can win his pawn back in some ways, but
Right.
just as Brian said, somehow now he'll give white the activity when he wins those.
True. Yeah.
It's almost like black doesn't want to win back the pawn because white's passive. So black wants to let white keep the extra pawn as long as she keeps her pieces passive.
But eventually, those white pieces come over to some place. The knight on g3 will find, a happier home.
Yeah.
I mean, if that black knight on e8 could just go to c4, you'd be happy, but it's a long journey to get there.
Well, it's a complicated game.
Yeah, I feel like
It's-
this might be one of the last ones to finish.
Yeah. Maybe black's planning knight c7, knight a8, knight b6, and knight c4.
Ooh.
Paul, very
Oh.
good.
You had your Wheaties for breakfast.
Yeah,
I like
okay. Well, I like being an armchair commentator. You can
Oh
think
wow,
of all
this has
kinds of-
developed.
Yeah.
And it looks like Ladia has gotten away with 2 pawns.
Yep.
Okay, so we were here.
Right.
So yeah, I guess he just
Queen c3.
Oh wow.
And has to be calculated very well here, I guess, and it is. Queen a2, king c1, rook c8, rook c4, and something.
Queen back to a6
Yeah,
now.
instead, black plays it like this.
King off of the file, and you have to take the
So
exchange back.
did you just chase the white king to where it wanted to go? I don't know.
Hey, can we go back a couple moves?
Yeah.
Right there. What was the deal on Queen
King
A?
c1. then
King
rook c4.
c1, and then you can play rooks.
Ah, yes.
And if you play bishop e4, you can't play rook
Right.
c8. So it's kind of like white had to put some thought into this, and that's why there's the time difference, I think. Just making sure that probably didn't get caught with some horrible tactic, right?
Very nice by Ladia.
Yeah. And shows the time spent looking through all this.
Right.
It was risky for white to go into this. So what do you think?
Well, clearly white is better, but
There's still a long ways to go here,
yes, it's
unless black gets severely discouraged.
It's hard to continue here for black though.
well, you start with rook c8.
Right, rook c8 and like queen b4.
Okay, queen b4, maybe queen a7.
Then rook's like
Rook F1,
Queen C7.
Queen C7.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay, so yes.
White needs to put his house in order a little bit, because otherwise there's always...
Okay, actually no, we could play Queen D4 here. Kind of allow Queen A5 check. Play like King E3 and then...
Queen D4 is better, yes.
Queen A5, B4, right?
There's that, and there's also King E3.
Then Queen A4.
Well, I mean, if White were to trade rooks, like, I feel like the game would be very close to over.
Yeah, I see your point. And if White traded queens, the game might be close to being over too.
Unless Black were to get like a pawn out of it, then it's possible to hold. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, your teammate is on the precipice there. On
Derek Wu. Derek Wu has played really well this tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a good turn.
And we were not sure about board one, and so the only other game we need to look at in your team is this board 3.
She is 5 out of 5.
I know.
I like this position for White as well.
Yeah. It's still early. I would take White here.
Black has a bit of a problem. You know, I want to play take on F4, take on D5, plant a knight on E5, but tactically that doesn't work. Pawn takes F4, queen takes F4.
Then F7 hangs.
Yes. And if you castle, well, maybe you have to castle.
If you castle, then I could. Well, I mean, it is White's move here, so that's probably what.
Oh yeah, it's White's
Oops.
move.
That's probably what White would be trying to prevent, is some type of castle, takes F4, knight E5 business. There's also, White can strike with like A4, possibly.
Oh, A4 is nice, right?
Not too sure how much it does though.
Well, A4 at castle.
Right, A4 castles, and there's not too much there on the queen side yet.
Oh, it
So
looks like
take
black is on the
E5,
edge.
Take on E5 then.
Well, you don't.
And then knight
Yeah,
takes
take E5, knight
D5.
takes D5 first.
E takes D5.
Knight takes
Knight takes
E5.
E5. Maybe something like knight C5 there.
I mean, you don't really want to trade the knight for the bishop, though.
but the still pinned. What about knight C5?
Knight
Just
C5.
going after the
And
A6
then like
pawn.
then castles. I mean, I'll let
Yeah.
I'll let you take A6.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it is a pawn. I mean, if the knight comes back
Okay.
to B4.
Okay, knight C5, queen B6. I think that's bad. Bad for White.
Ah, that seems to be the case.
Okay.
Yes, but
Yeah.
we look at various tactics
Cheap
for
things.
white.
I'm looking at cheap.
Yes.
I'm looking at cheap. Knight D5. So what? How should White play this then? How about C4?
C4 you could probably castle also.
Yeah.
Then maybe
Maybe C5 there is.
C5. That
Yeah, the
that's
idea being
that
C5, so knight E5 is no longer an outpost. Is interesting.
C4.
So maybe on like C4, black does not want to take on C4, so.
Probably not.
How's the time? She has plenty of time. Brian, this is your kind of position. We need a tactic. We need one of your combinations.
It is my kind of position. I normally play the more Fischer-Sogin, where my bishop on C1 has been traded for the knight on O6. But I just like your guys' suggestion of C4, followed by C5. That feels so correct and natural to me.
Yeah, I already don't like black's position here,
Yeah.
so.
But
The
White
only
needs
other-
to be energetic to get something going.
The only other move that I'm curious about is F5, but there might be some issue with it.
I mean, F5, like, not really
yeah.
unless you're going to try to go for mate. Like, after F5, I can maybe get away with keeping my king in the center.
Going for mate is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably play c4, not f5.
Yeah, I think c4 is a strong move here.
Nick and I have a joke about the Nahdorf, and Black's king is always sitting on e8, no matter what. It's like,
You have to run with your king if you play the Nahdorf.
that was a great story about the king. Black plays a6 so that the king can run to a7. Yeah.
That was the old
The
story.
reason.
That's why you play a6.
I'd never heard that before.
A6 on what? You play that on move like 4, right?
Fi-
Or
5.
5,
Yeah,
yes.
the Nahdorf,
It's
so
in
the
preparation for the king to
king
come
to
to
go to
A
A6.
safe
A7.
haven.
Exactly, exactly.
I'd never heard that before. Shall we look at we can look at this great game again.
No.
Now, let's see the competition.
All right.
Well, we haven't looked at the pink fluffy unicorns match yet. so-
Okay, let's look at the pink fluffy unicorns. I always like looking at pink fluffy unicorns. Is that
It's Henry.
Abel's? Oh yeah.
Henry versus UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley with Abel Talamantes.
Yes,
Okay.
the alum, the alumni.
The alum. Black's on the attack here. And Henry Wang has had a good tournament too, right?
Oh, yes, an excellent tournament.
He's has 4 points out of 5 games.
I don't feel like this game is going his way.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's rook on A1 and bishop on C1. It's,
If you could get those out, I feel like White could.
Fight here,
Fight,
but
yes.
it's good. White looks like he's getting overwhelmed.
And Black's king is completely safe. Like, the only chance White has is to fend off the attack and somehow try for an endgame here.
Isn't E4 coming really quickly and F4?
That and F4 looks very menacing.
This is White is in trouble. How about Queen E2?
Maybe not E4 because then like the bishop could come to E3 and F4 to guard. I like F4 a little
If I
bit.
was White, I'd be desperately trying to trade queens here. Queen E2.
Yeah, Queen E2, probably Queen G6 is.
Yeah,
Yeah, this seems.
that's not very cooperative. Right?
It's not cooperative with your plan there.
This would be a lot of fun to play with the black pieces.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's take a look at the board 2
solid game.
of this match between the Fluffy Unicorns and UCB Team 2. This has been kind of 4 night. This is called the 4 nights.
Endgame, 4 nights.
The 4
endgame.
nights end game. Okay.
Man, these
Unless
This
nights,
is even. These guys are slugging it out.
night endgames are so tricky.
Right.
Unless it's 2 knights versus 2 bishops.
All right. This is the third board.
More endgames.
Wow.
Was this a Berlin
This was Berlin.
defense?
Okay, if it's a race,
This
I'm
is
going for
crazy.
the black pawns on the queen side. Black A pawn on the queen side.
This is intense right here. You got 4-1 majorities on both sides.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I'm kind of.
So can I not play G6 to try to?
Yes, hold that pawn so that the H pawn.
Because that H pawn would just absolutely just run up the board, just H4, H5.
I had this crazy idea of you play G6, I play H4.
Yeah, that
It almost works.
Yes.
Or
No,
it doesn't
unfortunately you
quite.
capture on G4 and the bishop on
Well, no,
C2
no.
stops
What if
you.
we play H4, takes F5, G5? Oh, then Bishop D1. Okay.
Also on G6,
Oh, then
you might need to consider E6.
E6 is interesting.
Yeah, this is a crazy race to queen here, folks.
Oh, I like
this
Brian's
is a-
G6, E6, pawn takes
Yeah.
E6, knight checks.
I'm actually a little concerned for black here.
It's a race. It's,
Yeah, it's a-
it's-
But
Very
if
great
E6
game.
works, then I'm gonna take white.
Yeah.
I think it works, but I'm not positive.
well, the black king might be able to come over and help. It's E6, pawn takes, knight E6 check, king 2. You've got bishops and kings, but this is extremely complicated ending.
So I'll switch out with
Right.
Keaton here.
Okay. All right, thanks you guys.
Yeah.
Coming up, I don't believe we've met. I'm
Hi,
Paul.
I'm Keaton.
Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Good to see you, Josiah.
Good to see you.
Okay.
You wanted to.
Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Let's take a look at Abel's game really quickly, though. The last,
Should I grab a seat?
the last board.
Pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
So the rule is you have to hold the microphone.
Okay, I can do that.
And then let's go.
This is, we're going to look at this game before we look at your game.
Oh, sure.
Because this is the Mechanics Institute Chess Club director, Abel Talamentes. And this might be our last we work with him. And here's a chance to...
He's just, oh no, he's lost a pawn.
he lost a pawn in the middle.
Okay, that's not,
Those aren't the pawns you want to lose.
Right. Pawn on e4. So Abel's in trouble. Yikes.
well, he's been in trouble before. That's, he knows how to get out of trouble.
Okay. All right. Well, he's giving it the old college try.
There he is, like
Okay.
UC Berkeley alumni. So.
Okay. And so, which board were you playing on?
I don't think I was even on a
You
DGT
are
board
on a
this
DGT.
round.
All right. So
That's
can
okay,
just-
you guys didn't
can
miss
just
much.
hang out with
And
us
let
while
me
we,
hop in just for just 1 second. I
Okay,
really
Julie.
want to thank you, Keaton, for Kieran, for coming and putting together the team. And I know you guys
Well,
have
thank you
been-
very much.
So it's always a pleasure to have you up here.
Thank you so much. Well, it was definitely Kyron who put together the team.
Yeah,
The whole
okay.
thing really was his idea, but it was a lot of fun to play. I love team tournaments.
Yeah.
As you know, I was really big in the Pro Chess League.
Yes.
So I enjoy the team atmosphere and environment a lot.
Yeah, so let's push that a little bit.
Kyron's
So
5-0 in
Yeah.
this tournament.
I know, he's amazing. He's
Yeah.
probably going to win the board prize.
Yeah.
Looks
He's a
like-
fierce competitor.
Looks like he's on his way to winning this one too. Oh, you should have seen his game last night. They trade
He did,
into
for a while.
equal-ish opposite color bishop ending with rooks on the board within like the first 10 to 20 minutes.
remember that.
The next 5 hours is him squeezing out the slightest advantage from that end game and finally converting
Amazing.
it.
I will
Just
have
tenacious.
to look at that. We'll have to look at that again. In fact, we could look at it.
Well, there's so
Yeah, no,
much
there's-
going
there's a
on.
lot of drama.
And
yeah,
the,
there is a lot of going on.
the final results, so let's stick with today's games.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, you are from San Diego, right?
Yes.
And you were the manager for the San
San
Diego,
Diego Surfers.
for the Pro Chess
Great
League.
name.
Oh, thanks.
Great name, almost as good as the Hackers. And yeah, it was a fun few years while it was running.
It really
and,
was.
So
was
we missed the
wonderful.
format.
Are you
Hint,
still playing
hint,
for the Pro
Shahadi.
Chess League?
Bring it back. No,
Yeah, bring it
I'm
back,
not.
right?
Probably not strong enough. I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
even the weakest players in the
Is
Pro
it-
Chess League are
is it
GMs.
2,600
Wow.
GMs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
It's they really changed the format. So
Wow.
yeah, and
Interesting.
and the other thing that I really thank you is we are sort of I would like to call it we are teaming up against cheaters.
That's for sure.
And so he's one of my pinpoint when it comes to double checking someone's
Right.
history or reputation or whatever. And I'm really glad that we can do that because it's really important. And
Right.
Very important for
catching
chess.
cheaters is our number one goal, I think, right now. Or not number one goal, but
So if you're watching this and you're thinking about
Cheeky.
pulling something,
we are after you. Okay, I'll let you guys. Thank you
see
again for
some of
coming.
that.
It was great to have you.
thank you so much, Judith.
Bye, Judith.
And you guys are doing a wonderful job here with this club. What you guys are doing is really amazing.
Well, thanks. We've been trying to have some fun with it. We haven't looked at these games. Do you mind if we take a quick look at some of this matches? Especially since this is
I'm
a
curious.
young mechanics match.
Young mechanics,
Yeah,
let's see.
led by Ruyan Yan, who drew Stephen Zirk.
Comfortably at that. That's very impressive.
Well, she's getting a very solid draw today.
Let's see how this game went.
This is another locked up game.
Winnower.
A winnower. I was like playing against the winnower when I was, and Queen G4. Okay.
Starts out very active.
I would lose this position the next 5 moves with either side.
Right. I saw White play Queen H4 once, I think with the idea of playing Queen D8 mate, baiting Black to take on C2. There.
Paul plays a lot
Cheap-
of quick chess
cheap
sometimes.
No, I saw that at the Tuesday night tournament, actually.
Okay,
Okay,
there,
here we go.
straightening out the pawn structure. And
Only problem for white is that dark square bishop with all the pawns, but white has the space to compensate for that.
Okay. Praying for b takes c4.
A little too strong strategically for that.
and a good move, yes.
Yeah.
Pawn to a4 so
Right.
you can,
Blocking the queen side.
Perfect move.
and there the queen side is locked. Well, trading the knight, which might get stranded if you don't trade it off.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
relinquishing all hopes of a win, I suppose.
Right.
Well, you still have the pawn break.
So back here, maybe black even was too tempted to come into b3 and should have gone back the other way. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's still hard to open anything over there.
Sure.
Oh, f5 and f4. And now let's see, h5. So I think both players
I
are
think they're ready to go home.
they're in a peaceful frame of mind.
Okay, there have been some grandmaster draws on board once, I've noticed, like, Sevillano drew a couple of quick games, and so they're entitled to take a day off every once in a while.
Do you find that you get tired in the tournament?
Oh, absolutely. We played the 2-day schedule, and playing 4 games yesterday was no joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
And hats off to Steven Zierk, who played a very nice game and beat me in the 4th game yesterday. He also played the
we saw
2-day
that
schedule,
game. We
and
saw that game.
I would not have been able to play the kind of game he played, the 4th game of the day. He played a very nice game.
Uh-huh. This is Ethan Boldy playing here, and we know him very well. He plays at the Mechanics Institute all the time. So let's give his game a look here.
Queen's Gambit declined. Good opening.
An opening I don't understand very well. I think I've seen this before.
Excuse me. Yeah, the knight h5 is a relatively new idea, and usually black plays knight b6 in these positions. I'm not so sure about b5.
That's
Okay. I'm not either.
putting those pawns on white squares.
A bit committal.
Yep. And this looks, I don't like this. I would have moved the black knight and kept the bishop on that diagonal, but call me old-fashioned.
Well, it looked like the position that black ended up with was very good, considering what this was in the middle game.
Yeah, white's got an edge at this point.
Well, I don't know about taking with the knight on e4.
Yeah, I would have taken with the pawn, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely take with the pawn, open that F file.
When you have more space, you want to keep pieces.
And does c5 work for black there, tactically? F takes e4, c5, the idea of playing c4.
It's a nice idea. e5 maybe.
D5,
Natural
knight
counter.
D5. You might lose a pawn.
All right. Yeah, e5 is,
Some interesting ideas like bishop h7 check first, and after king h8 then bishop e4 or something like that.
Well, white should be better from this
Yeah.
position, but knight takes and Ethan gets back in the game.
Yeah, knight takes is a large concession. He's not opening the rook on the f file, and he's not controlling the center.
Oh, threatening to win the queen. But Ethan stays active.
all right. I would have put the queen on d6, because doesn't a3 just put the queen back anyway? White wants this kind of endgame.
To play, oh, the a5 is an interesting move.
Yep.
Yeah, white wants to play for bishop f5 at some point and try to get that knight into c5. Oh, there you go. He heard me.
And is that necessary? I guess white wants to play knight takes a5.
Is that what happened? Oh, so he forces the knight to take.
Uh-huh.
Makes sense then. Bishop d3.
And Ethan is holding on.
Yeah, looks quite equal. A lot of pieces traded.
Maybe still a little better for white, but
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
improvement from
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
used
well
to
done,
be.
well done by black. Okay. All right, then we'll go to this game, which had a decisive result.
Oh,
This is the final position.
It's a very nice night.
Daniel Lin versus Michael Tang. In the match, who's playing in this match again?
Daniel Lin goes to Berkeley, doesn't he?
Junior Mechanics.
junior
Well, he's a
mechanics
junior
against
mechanics guy.
UC Berkeley,
All right.
team one.
So Michael Tang won that game. So the Mechanics is down by a point in this match so far. And then the other Boldy brother, the younger Boldy brother, is playing this game.
Oh, looks like it's quite a promising position.
For black. Black's doing okay here.
Extra pawn and
Yeah.
better structure.
Control over E5.
Not much to complain about.
No. Nice. Okay. So the Mechanics is hanging in there, and that. And shall we take a look at the
Yeah,
map?
my main man Josh Sheng.
Okay.
Josh and I go way back.
Is that right? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. One of these openings. Ganesh Murugapan is a master, and Joshua Sheng is an international master.
Very strong player. He's been a bit bogged down with schoolwork, though, recently, studying at Berkeley, and just hasn't had as much time as he'd like for chess.
Is this a trap? Bishop F7 check doesn't work because the knight gets trapped at G7 at the end of
Could
that?
be. I'm not sure. It's definitely a very risky and ambitious setup that
Yeah,
Black's
for-
playing here.
Well, check king 96, queen D7.
King E8, right? 96, Queen D7, Knight G7, King
Some
F8.
King F7. Or,
Yes, looks like it's trapped. like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, sometimes in such positions, White can still have compensation, but
Sure,
hard
yeah.
to say. Yeah.
But White plays a little more circumspectly. Boy, Black is really tempting this Bishop F7 check move. What's wrong with it? It's the same problem.
Yeah, I think the same thing you
Yeah,
mentioned.
the same problem. All right, White's had but that looks like a good move anyway.
Josh might be in theory. I'm not sure if he studied this or if
Right.
he made it up at the board.
Okay, F4.
Yeah, White's playing very principled.
Yep, not being tempted by, but C5 is.
You're countering in the center,
Yeah.
so what do you do? F5, well that's, wow, okay.
Quite a move. So what happens on Bishop D4 check? The king just moves in the corner.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you can't go pawn to C4 trapping the bishop.
Nice point.
So-
I like that.
Very active
I like
move,
that.
F5.
Yeah.
What is Ganesh's level?
He's been a master. He's
Okay.
dipped below master, but
Well, big opportunity for him playing an almost GM level player, and he's
Right.
going for it.
Bishop D4 check happened, and then Black takes this way. So
Did he recapture? Yes,
yeah,
he
he
did.
did. I was
Okay.
looking maybe was there something else, but okay, this is fine.
That's okay. He's really hitting you on those light squares. And, right?
This is where we stand,
This
but
is where we stand.
knight takes F7 is definitely in the air.
So let me go back one more move here, and that was after Black played G takes F5. Isn't it possible to take on E6 with Queen H5 coming up, like Bishop E6, or before a Black Knight shows up at F6? Bishop E6.
That looks really good. I don't know why he didn't play that.
Well, this game is.
He can't take because it's just mate.
Yeah.
So Black
Knight
has to.
E5 or something? I mean,
Or Queen F6. Oh, F5 is hanging too.
yeah. So Knight E5, and then.
Knight
But
E5
look
is
at
a
the
good
bishop
idea.
has escaped.
I mean, after knight
Bishop
E5 and
is-
just Queen H5. I mean, to me, it
Yeah.
looks like a close to winning move.
Yeah. Bishop E6 is crushing here, I think.
Wow, that might have been a big miss.
Didn't see, yeah. It's almost like this move lost time. But
I mean, I
although White's
still like White's position a great deal.
Yeah, I do
but
too.
yeah, I don't know how this went so wrong for Josh.
Well, the game is not over, and look at the
Never over.
Boodle's amount of time that White has.
Wow.
White has overthought this.
Well, if you're going to play
Okay.
a suspicious scheme, at least play it fast.
And here is the board 2 of this match between Mission San Jose High School and UCB Team 1 with FIDE Master Alex Bayan, White versus experts Haisu Kaliswaran.
Alex Bion is known in some circles as the U.S. Junior Close nephew because of a really strong performance that he had at the U.S. Junior Championship one year.
How about that?
Well, I mean, it's just one of those positions that's very hard to say much about.
Yeah.
They're
Very
both
complicated game, yes.
at each other's throats. White wants to play H4, Black wants to pressure B2, maybe sack something.
So H4, I guess, is the move. The
Yeah, you
critical
think
move
at least you want to just throw in H4 and
It feels to me like maybe Black's a little quicker than White because after Black plays Rook C8, Rook takes B2 is already threatened and the queen side's collapsing. And it feels like White needs a little more time to do something. In fact, after H4, I would be very tempted to just meet that with Rook FC8, ignoring the threat on the knight.
Because if you take on G5, Bishop G5, and
Check, and then Rook takes B2, yeah.
or Queen takes C3.
Yeah, good point.
Or something.
Something sinister.
Okay, let's move on and then we'll be up at the top boards. Their board 3 is a wide open looking kind of a game here.
well, that's quite a cute move. Bishop to D7.
Wow, that's impressive. There's some people here who can play some chess.
Yeah, lots of
tell ya.
surprising moves.
It's a great move.
That knight on A5 is just out of the game.
Yeah, White looks dominant now.
That hurts.
2062, expert player versus master. Nagarajan, Black is in master player. King
He's-
F7?
Queen G4.
Yeah.
He's gonna need some master level skills to get out of this one.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't hold the 6 point.
So what about pawn to E5?
That holds the
That holds the pawn.
pawn, but yeah, maybe pawn
Blocks out the
F5.
bishop.
Yeah, it's almost like the light squares are really more the problem than the pawn. In fact, maybe better even let him take the pawn sometimes so that if White plays F5, at least Black has an active bishop.
That knight at A5 just is so awful looking.
Yeah.
So clearly better for White.
Okay, we'll move on to the final game.
Oh,
You never know what you're gonna see on a board 4 game.
Yeah, board 4, this,
Christopher Hugh.
yeah, versus Senthil Kumar. And this was won by Black.
Well, the rating difference is 500 or 600 points, so it's not too surprising
see.
that Sethir Kumar won.
Right, Senthil Kumar.
That's how you load up your team, which you must be an expert on how you get the ratings.
Oh,
and what
right,
you're-
from the Pro Chess League, yeah,
So who's
for sure.
which team is winning here? Shang's team. All right, we've spent some time on this game. Let's go back up to board 1.
Let's see the top matches.
Yeah, let's see the top matches.
Rochelle Wu, she's just defending, and I guess that's fine, but what is she eventually going to do? The knight will come to e2. That helps defend. Is black going to punch with f5?
Wow, very interesting Benoni type position. Feels like white's a little passive, doesn't it? Feels like black is doing well.
Well, black is a pawn down.
Ah, okay. I need to learn to count.
Yes. No, otherwise, it's got that feeling.
Yeah.
But it's a Benko Gambit kind of feeling anyway.
Yeah, definitely easier to play here for black.
But all right, if you can get the knight to e2, maybe the bishop can become offensive on f4, and you crawl out.
Black is probably trying to bring the queen back to d8.
Yes.
Go for something on the king side.
Yeah, or else use the queen behind the rooks.
I wonder in some positions if f5 can be a thematic idea.
Yeah, or h5.
Putting some pressure.
Sure. Bishop e5. Yeah. Okay, it's still going on.
And Gabriel
She's
Bick,
holding
certainly
tough.
one of your top young players around here in the Bay Area.
Right. And actually, Rochelle is as well. I mean,
Rochelle's amazing.
She's already played in the U.S. U.S. Women's Championship.
Having a fantastic career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good friends with their family, and I'm either going to get some credit or some blame, depending how this game turns out.
Is that right?
I worked with Derek quite a bit on this opening.
This is the person we want.
Derek is a close friend of mine. He was on the San Diego Surfers team for a brief amount of time, and he and I work on chess quite a bit.
He has come back, but I have to tell you, we didn't like the opening for black.
Let's take a look.
But
because
look at this. Black has won. I just want to say from where we look, black has a passed H pawn now.
Yeah,
Well,
black looks
Black
okay
has
here.
really done well.
Black has won 2 pawns since we looked, but
Good progress.
I think white went wrong.
Yeah, let's take it.
Let's take a look at the opening, because
Yeah.
I saw
I agree.
the initial opening, but not some of the subtleties. So let's take a look. So yeah, a line I've played many times. It's called the Azeri line. It was invented originally by Mamedov and some of the Azeri. Of course, Mamedov no stranger
This is
to
quite old,
this
though,
area.
I
Yeah.
think. This is-
Oh, it was invented a long time ago. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, knight d5 was played. All right, so take a5, a3. This is all theory.
It is, okay. King g8 too?
King g8 might be a newer idea. The idea I'm more familiar with is playing b4 immediately, which I saw he played later, and after trading and queen takes b4, then playing king g8. So either he mistimes the
Maybe
king g8,
I think
or
it transposes.
or
that,
yeah, or
if
maybe he
that's-
knows something that I
Because now he
don't.
throws in b4, doesn't he? So
Oh, take and queen b4
So
was
is
played.
a4 a move here for
Problem
white?
is queen e8. That actually makes pressure very fast after bishop takes a4.
Okay.
Okay, now here the rook e8 is the best move, I believe.
okay, yes, this
So the rook b8, I'm not so sure.
And rook e8 frees the queen eventually.
Yeah, the main idea for black in this line is to play rook e8 and then bring the rook to c5, and then put the queen either on a8 or c7, depending upon how white sets up,
Okay.
and make pressure on the queen side.
okay. That to me seems much
A different idea completely than
a
that
nice,
game.
slower positional way with attacking chances. Here gets tactical very quickly. And,
Yeah, Derek might have gotten a little bit mixed up, but this still looks interesting.
well, rook takes, and then this wasn't your analysis.
I mean, he has to go for it, because, I mean,
Yeah.
rook takes e7 is really huge for
Right,
white, so black
right.
has to do something here. I was almost wondering if he would take on d7 in that position. I did see that position on the board.
If white would play rook g7?
Yeah, I know he was considering it, because he was thinking for a while here. It certainly looks playable, unless it has some problem I'm not seeing. But the move he played looks playable
it's not
also.
as simple, right?
Yeah.
Maybe rook b6 with the idea of doubling rooks.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Simplicity is one thing that's probably not going to happen in this line.
Right, but this did boil it down a little bit more.
Okay, so he has to play rook e4.
Right.
Yeah.
And then this move. And this didn't seem to help black.
Well, you at least threaten
Wait,
rook
why
c8.
couldn't he have played queen a2 and rook c8? Then he takes and gets 2 rooks for the queen.
King c1,
King c1.
rook c8, rook c4.
Oh, it wouldn't be pinned anymore. Okay, I gotcha.
But look how black got in here.
Yeah, Derek is very resourceful.
Okay. This
Boom,
was
yeah.
a mistake. Rook c1.
Yeah, or was it forced? So queen b5. This is where white played rook c1, and maybe queen d3 has problems because of queen b4 and rook e8 or something. I mean, maybe white's not so safe anywhere.
Sorry, queen d3 looks better.
Queen b4 check,
King to e2,
rook e8.
king and king f3,
White looks very secure, but it's hard to.
f5. You can take it.
That's true.
Still
That's
always
true.
tricky in these kinds of situations to push White's position forward without making some concession. White almost needs to like get his king all the way to like g1 or something like that, or h2.
But instead, he lost the king
The
side.
rook c1. You're
So
just giving
yeah,
back material.
That's kind of strange. So queen d3, maybe queen c5, or I don't know.
King,
Yeah, but then king comes over.
e2, and you can go to e1. I'm sure white is better in the position,
Yeah.
but it's
If you put this on an engine, it's definitely going to take White.
Right. That two-pawn thing. All right, rook c1, and boom, suddenly black cleans up.
Derek Wu is
And that, what did this accomplish for white?
Maybe he overestimated his b pawn, but queen e2 is a very strong move.
Right, because there's the h pawn.
Yes, absolutely.
well. Okay.
But what about queen c4? Then
I was just looking at that.
queen e3 check.
And you're still holding b6, slowing
Yeah.
down the pawn. This is very interesting now.
Yes, this is maybe a
Double-edged.
tad better for white, but about even.
Very close, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could hang on the back, hang on one move here.
Pure calculation, too.
Gabriel Sanchez.
Well, this
Hi,
is
Gabriel. So white plays pawn e5. Is that
Wow.
really
That is an ambitious move.
queen c4?
So we said queen e3 looks best. And then queen d3 maybe.
So maybe queen f3. Oh, I don't know.
well, and then queen back to b6, queen e3, queen d3, queen.
Or queen f2.
How fast is
Queen
white really
g1.
that fast? So if black plays like super aggressively with queen e1 and then h5, I guess b5, that race is looking good for white. Right?
Because white queens would check. That's
Yeah,
a
as
really
well,
big deal.
yeah.
Yeah, that's big here.
But you can probably slow down white a little bit, move that h pawn, and it'll probably end up a perpetual check.
Could, yeah, very well could happen. Well, Derek is very resourceful. It's not for nothing that he's over 2,600 blitz on chess.com.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so that game is still up in the air, and this is board 3 of the match.
Okay.
Pretty good top 3 players for that team.
Black
Gabriel
has
big.
done well here.
Yes, suddenly he's got
Right.
this nice knight on e5. and that's-
Okay, so we back here, the last time we took a look at this, white plays rook d1, but we were looking at pawn to c4. We're trying to find,
Rook d1 doesn't help. It just gives black some time.
we're trying to figure out the right move for white here, and we're thinking maybe pawn to c4.
Wow, that's interesting.
Well, it's just because nothing else seemed to really work. And maybe with the idea of playing pawn to c5.
What about taking on e5? But maybe that's what he did, and then knight d5, pawn takes knight e5, right? And they arrived at that structure.
Yes.
And that just does look good for black.
Well, what was our idea? Yes, it was pawn takes e5, knight takes d5, pawn takes d5, knight takes e5, and you wanted knight c5.
But then queen b6.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing there.
I do like c4, because after that trade, a6 is also a target. And the bishop is much improved. Yeah, c4 is a creative move. It doesn't feel standard, but when you look at it, it really looks nice.
Yeah, maybe that was better. c4, castles, c5, and white has a bit of an initiative. But rook d1, then black gets to safety.
And this is a
Yes, doesn't matter.
this is going to turn out well for black.
That knight on e5 is a nice piece.
Yeah. Well, still a lot of chess to be played here, but yeah, black looks comfortable.
Okay, let's move on.
So the top match, how are we looking? It's
Those 3 games that we
three
just looked at,
very
and Brian
unclear
Doyle
games.
with having already put gas in the tank.
Don't you find this though in the matches? It's nice. You know you're nervous. You don't know what's happening. All these games, but you have this one game that's your favor. All the odds are in your favor because of that one game.
And in this
Yeah,
match,
absolutely. It makes a big difference in confidence.
this other match is all tied up now with Dana McKenzie. Well, let's look at Sevillano's game.
Let's see if Mike Arnay can hold a draw against the Grandmaster.
Okay.
Is he fighting for
He's
a draw
black.
here? This is an interesting position.
He's black. He's exchanged down for a pawn, but
My goodness, look at those pawns.
those pawns are broken. On the
Pawn
other
for-
I
hand,
think black might have some chances to draw this. Rook d7, right? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, the problem for black is it's hard to bring in the rook.
If he can, black could eliminate all the queenside pawns, he'd be feeling great.
Absolutely.
But with this pawn at a2 is black's real worry here.
Yeah, I mean, the
Okay.
problem in endgame is when you're down the exchange is containing pawns on both sides of the board.
This pawn at a2 is black's problem.
Absolutely.
But there's some practical chances here for Mike, right?
Definitely.
Black and the bishop will control the queening square, so
Possible to make some plays sometimes against white's king. He's got to get his rook active. A
Yeah.
passive rook's just not going to do him any good.
yeah. What do you think, Nick?
well, let's look at a concrete line. Rook d7, bishop f3, rook a7, rook c8. Do you play rook a6?
e6.
Trying to get a passed pawn.
I guess rook c4,
Rook c4, rook b6.
and then black rook g4 check is just a check.
King to f1, rook to g2.
I like his way of thinking here. Yeah.
I mean, a position like that, white's always going to be better if he gets it past a pawn.
right.
But black has chances. Black has play. So
Oh, it's
Yeah.
very far from over.
Okay. So, and on board 2, this, of course, as expected, led to a crushing. This was absolutely
Wow.
a smashing. Black was busted right out of the opening.
let's take up where we left off on 19. Knight takes f5.
Yeah.
When I thought, oh, well, is this enough compensation for a piece?
Oh, there's queen h4. My queen h4 threatening g6.
Nice to have the
And-
compensation and not be down a piece.
Yes. yes.
See black fall for something here.
Why not knight? Oh well, knight takes g7, rook f6,
Oh,
and that's
Yeah,
coming in.
that's pretty grim here.
Wow.
What was wrong? What was wrong
What a
with
move.
bishop to? Bishop to.
f5, that looked pretty good.
So he
too.
would take on f6 and then
you
play
take back.
rook g8 check.
Oh, I see.
So he doesn't even fall for
But
that.
g6.
Oh, very
Hard to not play
nice.
g6 if you
Very
see
nice.
it.
And that's nice
Beautiful.
game by
Just
Dana.
Nice, yeah, nice finish. We're going to take a break after we get to the end of this
This match.
this match. Yeah. We'll take a quick 5-minute break.
See the against. Marshall Polaris.
And I played against Akshita earlier in the tournament. I know their family, very nice family. Akshita got to play in the U.S. Women's Championship.
Right, and okay. I didn't know that. And how did she do?
She didn't do so amazing, but it was her first time playing,
And
so kind
great
of a new.
experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's had some good results. She pulled a game out of the bag, I seem to remember from yesterday, where she was losing and ended up winning, I think.
Good for her. Yeah, she's a tenacious player.
was
Even
a
when she's losing,
tenacious.
she sets a lot of traps.
Right. This game is looking.
Black is
Black is
comfortable.
pressing. Yeah, Black is pressing here.
You probably have to go rook b. Well, you can't go rook b1.
Wait, actually, I'm sorry. I might be a bit confused. I'm thinking of a Sritha.
Oh, okay.
Iswaran. Okay,
Okay.
that's who I was referring to. I just saw the WCM and figured that was her. I didn't realize her sister is also a WCM.
I see these.
Yeah, that's right. So this is her sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I was referring to a Sritha.
Oh, how about that? And they're both playing on board on the top teams.
Yeah,
team two.
Yeah,
Playing for different teams, so I might have been getting them confused.
Aksithi,
myself.
she ruined our team's tournament by beating Gabriel Sam last round with
She's
Black.
rated 23-31. I think this may be her only game.
Okay, that's a Sritha.
I haven't seen her name before, I don't think. Is this the first game that she's played in this tournament?
So I guess this is her sister that we're looking at here, and she's the one who
Not as strong.
not as strong, but this tournament she's playing like it.
Right, she's playing well.
Yeah, she pulled a big upset last round.
I haven't seen
Sritha?
but maybe because her team has just come up into the digital
Maybe
boards,
so, yeah.
and that's why I'm seeing her
We
for the
beat
first one.
their team in one of the early rounds in the 2-day section.
Okay, and Ashik Uzman got crushed on board 4. And we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back
Okay, for the exciting finale.
for the grand finale. We're here with Mechanics Institute Chess Club Director Abel Talamentes, Chief Organizer of this event, and victim of, you gave it the old college try.
I did, and I thought it was a pretty good game. I was looking to not play defensively, and I'll just run it through real quick. I was playing Andy's Young, who's I think he's like 1900,
Okay.
2000, and basic moves like from the beginning.
Okay. Nick and I will try to
Sure.
pinpoint where you could have gone better.
Let's see if you can figure out where I went wrong.
Well, it's a Nimzo Dutch, so about even here.
Yeah, just basic.
Sometimes having the bishop on e2 is maybe better in these situations. What do you think, Nick?
So you have to worry about that long diagonal, so yes.
Maybe a more modest development of the bishop
Yeah,
on e2?
I mean, I considered bishop e2, and
But they're both okay.
Okay. I wonder how people think about these positions.
E5, okay, he didn't go for rook f3, rook h6. Played in the center, also very principled. Bishop e2.
Yeah, you were listening to me.
although I probably wasted a tempo there, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Can we try to make bishop d3 work, Nick? Since you've already played it, is there a way to make it work for white somehow?
I mean, I was thinking, d5, and then I was thinking if he played e4, then he kind of took away his own bishop a little bit, but then my bishop's sort of locked up.
Yeah, if I was white, I don't think I'd play d5
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah, not sure what to do. It's
And I sort of played bishop e2 because sort of
that's
it makes sense, but it's also sort of almost like a pass.
right. c5,
And I thought that was interesting because
and maybe not bad.
playing for the black squares.
yeah.
Okay.
But now I saw opportunity in playing d5 because now I'm definitely thinking about e4, and I'm really looking to break it up. Actually, my rook on c3, I was looking if I can
Get
move
it
my e3
three
pawn
on the third
out,
rank. Okay.
and which is what I did.
Okay, now this is worked out.
White should jump on bishop g4 here, and he does.
Excellent. G3.
Okay, I'm not sure this is the right time for that, but it's kind of correct on principle. But
I'm trying to kind of like now break it open because especially my rook on c3, I feel like I could swing it over and that I'll have more pieces on the king side.
But black's going to play g5 and knight g6, or black's going to try to do something there too. So I'm not sure.
And I felt I had to trade that bishop.
See, it's hard to know about these things.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not that. Yeah. Right, black turns his attention this way.
That's f3 is the move that I think probably wasn't the best because now I've blocked off my rook in c3. My knight can't go to f3.
Yeah, you could try rook to h3. It's rather committal.
I thought about that for some reason, and I probably should have done that. And it just seemed to me that if I played the rook to h3,
I think it loses a pawn, right? Oh, maybe. Because of queen g5,
Pawn to f3.
and then h5,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, Paul. That's
And then just the rest of the game, and you'll see it. It was just you just created tension after tension after tension.
Black is doing the right thing here, I guess. Yikes.
and you can't take with the rook because of knight f3 checks. So
Yeah, so this is now winning for black.
Right, and then
with
he's
the
got
pass.
the rook on c. Yeah, exactly. Rook on c8 brings.
And
it to
now
h4.
you blunder the e4 pawn.
But even before I blunder that, because now the
think-
game's totally lost.
yeah,
But
I
even
think-
right here,
I think you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have anything right here.
Yeah.
So, and the rest was pretty standard.
Okay.
Just a slow deterioration.
I'm sorry, Abel. How's your team doing, though?
The junior mechanics, they were playing right behind me. Rui drew with Steven Zurich, but I think
Easily enough, yeah.
I think Steven was tired. and
Right.
he wanted to get out, and so I don't know how the other games are going. I mean, I've been checked out. I've been playing for 3 hours. What's the top table like?
Yeah, that's okay. Well, Brian Doyle put
Won quickly.
his sword right
Yeah,
into the other team.
That was a
really
ratings mismatch. So,
right. So now everything
He did what he was
is
supposed to do.
Yeah, he did what he. So now everything is hanging on this game, and this is still a complex game. White keeps offering the pawn back, and I don't like the white rooks.
The one on A2 really seems bad. I don't mind the one on C2. But
Yeah, the one on A2 is.
It's a lot of tension. Right? And
White's
Bishop,
just
G7.
played Bishop E1, but maybe should have tried Queen A6 just to grab another pawn for the heck of it. Maybe there's a black attack brewing if she didn't play Bishop E1. So, what do you think about this position, Nick? Hey, some characters have walked into the room here, and we're recognizing them. We're saying hello.
Actually, I got to get back to Terminal Hall. So
Yeah, Ralph, you want to come sit down here while your friends analyze? You don't have to say a word.
Ah, you can tell us how your team did.
Yeah, just add some.
3-0 right now.
You're up 3-0. Wow.
All right, this is Ralph Palmieri. What team were you playing for? Here, you can hold this.
BCS
BCS.
Team
BCS Team 2.
Sunrise Almonds.
All right. Sunrise Almonds. Is that yeah, okay. All right. So you guys are nuts, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. We're on a roll.
You guys are nuts.
We're going to come out of it with 3 wins.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
man.
And you've got this great team from
So
the North Bay.
An
and
even,
they're-
an even score.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
that's
Get some
really
pretty
good.
competition.
That's great.
UCLA, Stanford, they played really well.
Right, yeah. But the nuts,
Came
the nuts held their own. That's excellent. Right.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've been looking at these games here. This is Rochelle Wu versus Gabriel Bick. This is the
Top
the
match.
Top
Oh, yeah.
match.
Important.
Black is going on the attack. Well, what do you think, Nick? This is disheartening for White somehow.
Well, you got to defend. Maybe queen to F3 and bishop to G3. Yeah, it's black's pieces are more mobile because that rook is stuck on A2. So even though you have an extra pawn, it's tilting in black's favor.
Okay. We'll go to board 2, where this really complicated queen endgame has been taking place. So we did get a few more moves here. Actually, just a couple, right? Black is still thinking here.
With a big time advantage, but I'm predicting this will be a draw, 4 pawns against 4.
Interesting.
Past B pawn, past H pawn. You know, it's not so easy to push either of them through.
Yeah. Okay. Black must be a little bit worried about something like what here? Queen B6.
You could do queen B6, pawn to B5, pawn to H5, queen to C4,
Oh, queen to C4.
pawn to H4, queen to C6.
Both
Then you-
sides are,
But then you get a check, queen E3 check. And yeah.
and then a chance to push the pawn to H3, yeah. Scary,
close.
yeah, it
Yeah.
looks close, but all right, I trust your judgment, Nick. All right, this is Seikhanchimeg Sogsaken versus Ryan Taghizadeh. And Black seems to be getting a little something going in this game with that knight, a beautiful knight at e5.
Yeah, it's rock solid on e5.
Yeah.
But maybe White should just go h3, hold some
pass.
squares. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard for Black to do too much.
Okay. All right. So this whole Brian Doyle stuck a knife into the throat of the other Berkeley team.
Best chess school from Berkeley.
But they're hanging in there and hoping to recover. Do you like my analogy
No,
there?
I thought it was good. It was a good game. I saw part of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty good.
So let's see.
Quickly.
Dana McKenzie. This match is all tied up.
Let's see Mike Arnay.
Yeah,
Arnay and
Mike
Sevillano.
Arnay and Sevillano.
So Mike is the exchange down, but he's trying to cause trouble
And
with
how,
his
somehow he advances e5 pawn, but hasn't picked up the black, the c4 pawn. Which gives White a chance to play something like rook c1 here, right?
Yes, maybe rook c1, rook to g4, check king to f1, rook to g2, rook to c3 gets that
Pawn to e4.
pawn to e4, but it's no longer checkmate, so you just
Push the pawn.
push the pawn.
Yeah.
Tough for Mike. He's put up a great fight, but
See,
I'm
he
going with
looks like he might have lost a tempo here. So
Why-
e5, why play e5, right? Maybe he should have gone straight for the,
rook c8 first would
Yeah.
have been better.
right.
No point in
There's
this.
no point in playing the pawn move to e5.
And you want to capture the pawn on c4 when you get to this fifth rank.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Black's
yeah.
lost a crucial tempo here.
yeah.
All right, well, the other match that, the only other way that this match can be, Black has a passed a pawn. This is Aksitha Eswaran is playing for Sevillano's team.
What's the score in that so far? There's been 2 decisive games.
Right.
One for each team?
One for each team.
Okay.
I
So,
think, is that correct?
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, Dana won and Usman lost. Yeah.
wait a minute. That's,
I'm getting confused. Which teams are we looking at here? We're looking at the Fluffy oh no, we're looking at the XL chess team. I've got the wrong teams.
okay, so,
Sevillano is board 1, and that game is still ongoing. Dana McKenzie 1-1 for the Colty Club. They have the games are different here.
Hollow one also.
okay, yes.
0-2-0.
So, yes, it looks like
Colty Club is winning this
is
match.
winning 2-0.
Yeah,
But Enrico is likely going to win.
against Arnay and
And so it's up to
this game here.
But she has to win as Sita has to win with the white pieces. Right now she's a pawn down.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks for joining us, Ralph.
Good luck.
All right. Okay. All right, we're rolling on here. And we're going to look at Henry
give me
Wang.
one moment, I'll be
Oh,
back.
sure. This is a match between Henry Wang, the Pink Fluffy Unicorns, and the UCB Team 2. And Women's International Master Ashritha Eswaran is has a strong attack here against National Master Henry Wang. Let's see if we can see what's going on here. If queen takes e4, pawn to f2 is going to cost white a whole rook here. So it looks to me like this is serious trouble. Queen e4, pawn to f2. In order to stop f1 queen, white would have to play rook takes f2 and would simply be down a rook after bishop f2. So I'm predicting this game is going to be over in a minute or two. Black's pawns are rolling. In the second game of this match, second board of this match, between the pink fluffy unicorns and UCB Team 2, was drawn in this position. Nick, is this a draw?
Oh, these pawn endings are always very interesting.
Is this a
and
draw?
so certainly white is better with those, the advanced king and the king side pawns. They agree to draw.
They agreed to a draw, and this is the board too. These are, white is a master, rated 2260. Black is a strong expert, rated 2159. So I suppose they knew what they were doing here after g4 and agreeing to a draw.
Well, black would have to play king to e6, and we see if there's any way in. If black still has moves left with the queen side pawns, pawn to a5 and a4.
So king e6, does white take and play f4?
Take and play f4, pawn takes f4, king takes f4, king f6.
King back to e4.
King back to e4, then king back to e6. Pawn to a3, there's pawn to a5. Black seems to have enough tempi.
But even if white has to move, he just king f4, king f6 again, right?
Yes, but it's complicated. We'll take that line. Pawn takes h5, pawn takes h5. Well, sorry, black plays king e6. Pawn takes h5, pawn takes h5, f4. Pawn takes f4, king takes f4, threatening king g5. So king to f6. Now white plays pawn to a3, making it black's move. Black plays pawn to a5.
I guess.
Then you play pawn to a4. And the pawn takes on a4. King comes back to e4, and that c pawn is a bit vulnerable. Well, except king,
that's an interesting line.
King comes to e6.
And if king d4, king f5?
Yeah, it seems you don't have time to run over to king d4, king f5, king c4, king to g4, king somewhere like d4, king takes h4, c4, king g5, c5. You know, it's still very complicated. It looks like a draw. Looks like they were correct, but I think you could spend, half an hour calculating all this
out. And maybe
out.
they did, for all we know. This is, that was their board 2. Board 3, Evan I playing for the pink fluffy unicorns against Tanmay Qatar. Oh, and this was that game that was so crazy looking with the 4 pass pawns. And now I'm not sure what's going on here. White's pawn at c4 is quite vulnerable to the.
Well, this is quite odd that that a3 pawn requires certainly requires the bishop to stay home, and the white king can't help. Well, maybe it could go to d2 to c3 to b3. If we give king f8, king d2, king g8, king c3, king h7.
So black is the one with winning chances here.
Yes.
That seems an odd way to start, but maybe it's the right idea to get a couple of passed pawns going.
Pawn to b5, pawn
Yeah.
to b4.
Right. Maybe it's as simple as that.
Yeah, certainly black with the winning chances. Another bishops of opposite color ending.
And that would be good news for Abel Talamentes, who in this team, UCB Team 2, lost on the 4th board to Andy Zhang. Okay, let's move on to the junior mechanics versus.
How about a quick review of our headliner match?
Okay.
Really
All right.
see if there's.
Yeah.
We'll just look.
Rochelle Wu versus Gabriel Bick.
So knight c4 was a nice looking move, except Gabriel Bick is just ignoring it, saying, "Take my d pawn, please." And
then what happens? Knight g4 check. And then if hg4, bishop e5, bishop g3, queen h4.
Okay, that would be very good. And if bishop to g3 now, you can play, some interesting moves. Things like rook c4 and knight h5.
Yeah.
But it's an attack, but yes, she is under pressure. Gabriel is attacking.
The question is, okay, so bishop g3 here.
Bishop g3, knight h5.
Bishop
takes
d6.
d6, rook takes c4. You can take the rook on b8 or c4.
Let's, just for the heck of it, what happens if you take on c4?
Bishop to e5 check, bishop takes e5, queen takes e5 check. But that's not checkmate.
King to g1.
King to g1, and
looks far from checkmate, yeah. Maybe there's another move. Maybe there's bishop h3 or something.
yes, even at the end of that variation,
Yeah.
bishop takes h3. It's an attack. It's
So bishop g3.
There's also rook to f8.
Yeah, there's a lot of strong moves for black, attacking ideas for black here.
Bishop g3, rook to f8, and that one might do it.
With the idea of knight g4.
Yes.
And white would have to take the queen off the f file immediately, I think. And then
And the knight on c4 needs to be defended.
Yeah.
So
And the
Rochelle
rook
Wu is,
a2 is not well placed. Yikes.
yes.
She's getting some experience here in these games. Okay, let's see. We think black has probably a decisive attack here. Let's go on to see how her brother is doing. Wow, Nick.
Oh my God, a pawn ending. Oh, I don't think he should have gone into a pawn ending.
White can make it another pass pawn. All right, so what happens here? h5. We should be able to figure this out.
Okay, let's start with h5 because you have, if it's king to c8, king to b5, king to...
Well, tell us what you're thinking. What's after h5? Pawn to b7?
Oh,
And if king c7, pawn to e5? No, that doesn't work.
this is... this looks somehow my. Oh, thank you, Ralph. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. We're
And
looking at some-
congratulations on your last round victory.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good time. Enjoy. Did well this weekend. Love to have you doing the conversation.
Thank you for joining us. Come on back. All right, so we can figure this out.
Well, you would like to play f6 to stop the e5 break, but there's no time. King to b5, king to c8.
Do you have to play king to c8? Can you play? Oh, because of king a6.
Because of king a6, yes. You.
So if f6, king b5, and then if h5, king a6, forces the queen in. Amazing.
White seems to be queening one move before, but we'll try all the defenses for black. We can try, well, if we try king to c8 right away, then it's king to b5, king to b7, pawn to e5.
You have to take it.
Pawn takes e5, pawn to d6.
And that's it.
And pawn to e4, pawn to d7, you're just too slow. So king to
c8 doesn't work.
If pawn to f6, king to b5, king to c8, king to c6, pawn to h5, king takes d6, pawn to h4, king to c6, pawn to h3, pawn to b7 check, king to b8, pawn to d6, pawn to h2, pawn to d7, make a queen, white queens would check and mate next move. It's looking one tempo ahead for white in all the lines we see. So Derek Wu should not have traded queens.
A miscalculation right here.
Oh yes, just a mistake.
Queen g3 check is a miscalculation. With plenty of time on the clock too.
I guess
an hour ahead. He thought for 20 minutes, for more than 20 minutes, about or just under 20 minutes here on queen g3 check, which turns out to be a mistake. It shouldn't have been that difficult to calculate this. The move I find a little difficult to get here is h5, king b5, king c8, I'm sorry, king b5, h4, king a6.
h3, b7, h2, queen. Maybe you found a draw. Let's see.
Okay. So h5,
h5,
king
b5,
b5. Is that forced? Yeah. h4,
and
king a6.
King a6.
Right?
And you just ignore it and play h3.
h3.
b7.
b7, h2, queen, queen.
Queen, queen. Now, pawns are even, but white gets the first check. And he may win that d6 pawn. Queen to b7 check. The king must go to the back rank. It's a difficult queen ending for.
Is black losing the g6 pawn with check? Queen b7 check, king d8, queen.
He'll go king to d7, check, king back to d8.
King back to d8. If you take on f7, I take on queen takes e4, and then queen e6 check. I don't know. But of course, black has other moves.
Okay, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
He has a difficult queen ending. I think
Okay.
he had a much better queen ending.
Yeah, this decision to take here on d3 Maybe Black thought it was a simple solution, but it's proven to be quite difficult.
He could have gone queen to f2 and h5.
Or queen to b6.
Or queen. It takes white some time to get the pawn through to b6, and the h pawn would have been running. So
I think that possibly Black is also worried about white playing pawn to e5, maybe? If the queen strays far away, that's a way for white to get a quick pawn going, but...
Well, queen f2, e5, you do have queen e1 check and queen takes e5.
Yeah, that's true.
It just feels very wrong to trade right away.
Okay.
So this match is...
still up in the air.
And this is a big game. Ryan needs to win, I think, for them to have chance.
And Black is slightly better, as he has been now for a number of moves. Let's go quickly look back up at board one and see how Rochelle is doing here with Gabriel Bick. Still thinking here in the face of growing Black threats.
Now, what were we saying? Knight takes d6?
So rook f2 is a recommendation here.
Okay.
And that might be a good move.
Rook f2, do we go knight to h5? That's knight h5 on rook f2.
Yeah.
Kind of threatening maybe rook c4.
Yeah.
It's just that all of Black's pieces get to the king side. One rook can take on c4, the other go to f8, the bishop on d7 can take on h3.
And the rook on b4 is pressuring both the b2 and the e4 pawn. This is starting to seem desperate for white here.
A computer may hold it together for the white side, but you have to be completely precise.
Okay.
So they are now...
I think that Rochelle maybe should have chosen some more active alternatives involving her playing pawn to e5 earlier.
You know what? How about pawn to e5 now?
Okay. Yes. Why not? Yeah, there you go. That's just the perfect kind of move that's needed in this situation. Stomp up the e5 square, and then bishop g3 or something like that, right? Although you still have to worry about knight h5, but then knight e4, it also frees up the e4 square.
Perhaps. She's thinking a lot.
Okay, some dramatic games here.
Yes, but that match is swung in favor of Berkeley's best chess school.
Right, especially, this is a very complex game here.
What did he do?
Black has...
Oh, no, Derek. Not f5.
Well, Black played king d7. Okay, and then king c4. We were here. But now f5.
f5, and let's see, e5 looks like you have to play it.
And Black must take.
Black must take. And then, what move is it? King to c5. Pawn to...
King c5 is forced, I think, because then you're threatening d6 and b7.
It's king c5, and whichever pawn you push, e4, pawn to d6.
And then I don't see how Black gets out of
pawn
this.
to b7, e2.
It's not hard to find either. I mean, king c5 is White's only move. I think this is just a badly played couple of moves here by Black. Here, missed another chance.
Yes,
I think
he could have reached a queen ending, but now
White's queening with d6 and b7.
Pawn e4 is the best, pawn d6, pawn e3, pawn b7,
And then-
pawn to e2, queen, queen, but then queen c7 check is the end.
Yep.
Oh, perhaps if you go pawn to f4.
But then you mated, right? D6, F3, B7, F2, queen, queen.
Queen c7 check.
Oh, but then you can go king E6.
But then unfortunately queen e7 check.
Is mate.
Well, no, you have king f5,
Oh, that's right. You have king F5.
and you get
White
skewered
makes
on the
another.
f file. Ah, sad for Derek. Sad. He's played so well, but these last round games.
Okay, this is huge for the other Berkeley chess team, which puts even more pressure on Seyhan Shemeg.
She may have to win this game,
She may have to win this game.
but she's low on time.
And
slightly
she's
worse-
outrated. I mean, Rayan is a 2,400 player. Both players need to keep their cool here. And
What a dramatic shift, though.
Yeah.
It looked like
Derek Wu had his chances in this game. He just made a few missteps.
yes, he needs a little work on the ending.
And Rochelle plays E5.
Okay, seems as
Nice.
good as.
That move
Other move.
that was almost an afterthought is now turning up. Okay, that's a good move, I think. Or maybe needed to be played. Okay.
So what is happening is a question. Pawn takes e5, bishop to e3,
To G3?
g3, excuse me. And then if knight to h5, you
Knight
throw
to
in knight
E4.
e4.
Yeah. But then knight G3.
Knight g3.
And if knight G5, knight takes F1 check. King G1. Is the knight trapped? I doubt it.
No, so that bishop to g3 is not going to help. Pawn takes e5.
Well, White's got moves there. Suddenly it's not all hopeless. Like even D6 or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, still now pawns are even and the bishop can come to f5. It's still difficult.
It's difficult. Okay.
And yes,
Ladia and Derek Wu. Derek must be shaking his head here.
yes, he had his opponent down to 3 minutes.
And anything is possible in this game, although it looks like it's a bit tilting Black's way.
Yes.
So we'll go to Sevillano has beaten Mike Arnay.
Okay.
Somehow White's strategy panned out in this game and Black didn't get enough going before. Did I not predict that A2 pawn was going to be the deciding factor here? And it looks like Mike didn't get things going quick enough for himself. In fact, it's funny how the pawn advance seems to have interfered with his own counterplay.
Yeah, the move e6 to e5 was the beginning of the end. I think it's hopeless with that.
And White played that nice h3 move and got that move in too. So now it's, yeah, the black pawn at e4 is just interfering. This is hopeless. Well, Sevillano pulls it out against Mike Arnay and leaves his team with some hope.
With some hope. The last game.
That this game can be
Axita
won.
against Marshall Polaris. And she has to win this game.
She has to win this game with
pawn down.
White, a pawn down.
Well, that's just not possible.
I don't think it's possible. Yeah.
So
that means that the XL Chess Club team is pretty much barring a miracle win by White here is not going to win a thing.
They will have lost that match.
Yeah.
Colte will have won the match.
Colte will have won the match, but Colte only had 4
4
points. So they'll get 5, but that won't be enough to
Not to win the championship.
not to win the championship, because BCS will be the only team with 5.5 if they.
Yes, BCS looks like the front runner now.
Best chess school led by Bick seems to stand the best chance.
And there I thought that
There are 3 games still going,
can we
but
woo
they're
it
all
in trouble.
They're all in trouble.
Well, you need some luck at this point. It's often these matches come down to that. You think you're winning, then you think you're lost, and then something happens.
The match between Mission San Jose High School and UCB Team 1 was a split, a 2-2 split, with Ganesh Murugapan winning for San Jose over Joshua Shang. Let's take a look at that game. Okay, that was the game. It must have cost Black a rook to get out of his problems earlier in this game. This surely will be Ganesh's high point of his chess career so far. He was underranked.
Game.
He was underranked by hundreds of points.
F5.
But F5 is a great move. And even though Bishop E6 might have been a faster finish, Black is just playing.
Threatening checkmate on it.
Threatening Bishop G2 check.
Bishop
Look at
D5.
that move.
Super move.
Interference.
Because knight takes, queen h5 check would lead to. Actually,
Knight takes, queen h5, rook g6.
maybe queen takes h7.
I think White's going to find some way in there.
Some nice move, bishop d5.
Bishop c3, bishop b7. Black has everything in take here. Queen b8, okay, bishop a8, king e7. Can't
Because
take back on a8.
Because of the knight fork.
And at the moment, White is up a rook. So Black is playing on, what do you call it? And must, I guess, figures he has to offer the exchange of queens or rook down.
He's still under attack. So he's got
Amazing.
no pawns for the rook.
Right.
And this just
Absolutely amazing, though. But, and White is well in control of this game, as he has been from the beginning. What a great game for Ganesh Murugapan, beating a very strong international master. And that game was made all the, well then, FIDE master Alex Bian won. This was a big upset. There was another upset in this game where White won on board 19, beating a master as well. Anapu Mayapan beat Pranav Nagarajan for another upset, and with 2 upsets, they were able to tie the match.
Okay, that's,
So that's
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mission San Jose High.
Yeah, they'll have something to
UC
write home
Berkeley.
about for sure.
Yes, heavily overrated or underrated.
Yeah.
But they came through.
Yeah, to beat UCB Team 1, to tie. All right, let's go back up to the top then. We're entering the last hour of Mission 1, all 4 boards. Let's see.
Let's
Oh, I think you might be right. Did Mission win all 4 boards on that? Pranav Nagarajan
Alex
lost.
Bryan was UCB. Oh, you are. Thank you,
Wow,
F
thanks,
Pawn.
F-Pawn. That's an amazing result.
Oh God.
That's an incredible
4-0
result.
sweep against the higher rated
Against
player.
the high, oh, wow.
First board outrated by 400 points. Second board outrated by 400 points. Third board outrated by 200 points. And, well, the last board, they do have the rating advantage.
Amazing.
Well, congratulations, Mission San Jose High School.
UCB team, what were you guys doing before the game? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What an upset. That must be one of the biggest upsets of the tournament.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, thanks for setting us straight about that. I guess it was... Black took on e5 with the pawn. White played bishop g3, and black played knight h5. So we're running into this same thing here.
Well, you have to play knight e4, knight takes g3, knight takes
Knight takes g3.
Just do it and try to hang on. I mean, if you get your knight back to e4, right, you're shutting down some of that counterplay. Maybe that rook on a2 can finally help out by coming to a3.
Okay, hope springs eternal in the chess players.
Yeah, she's...
Okay.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's right.
And let's keep up. Has Derek Wu resigned? He's thinking.
He's still thinking here.
It's only 2 minutes, but there's just no way. Sad, sad turn of events.
There's a lot to learn from this game, I think, for Black. There was just a few wrong turns and it went south. And Black continues to apply the pressure here.
Okay, but when Black advances, that'll give White the chance. Black will probably advance those kingside pawns, which that is very aggressive, but that leaves some holes in the position.
Okay.
Right now I'd go knight d4.
And let Black, okay, White plays a4.
2 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, White's way down on time here.
Chemeg.
The Can We Woo It team is on the ropes here.
Yes.
The last chance for this match to be drawn is here. White needing a win in this situation. I don't think that's going to happen. And so that means that Colty team is going to be the winner over the Excel Chess Club Team 5.
Well, we have to say, Colty team has played really well all throughout the tournament.
And they're going to finish with 5.5 points ahead of, and they will...
Colty will finish with 5 points.
Oh, that's right. Colty has 4, so they'll finish with 5.
Excel could have maybe won the championship. They would have been in a tiebreak.
Right.
With either.
So it's good, but so who's going to end up with 5 points? I think BCS Can We Woo It is probably going to take second place, even if they lose.
Looks like they'll get second place on tiebreak.
Behind BCS Best Chess School. That's if these games go as we think they're going to go.
Yes, it's.
Was there any? Oh, the Pink Fluffy Unicorns. Did they win? They finished with 5 points too.
Who were they playing?
Oh
in the
no
last round?
that ended in a tie. That match ended in a tie. Abel's team.
Let's see.
Oh no. Yeah.
Hold it. No, that's boards 9 through 12.
Boards 9.
No, somebody won that match.
Okay.
Henry Wang lost.
Well, yeah, to the 2300 Women International Master Asritha Eswaran.
Daniel Cheng drew against Arjun Bharat. And
then Qatar won and Abel lost. And so the match was tied. Oh, no, you're right. UCB team won. Right? Because Ashrithwa won.
Ashrithwa won.
And Qatar won.
And Qatar won,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, so UCB team 2 won, and that puts them at 5 points. So there could be some contention, and they're the only other people that can get 5 points.
Okay, so we're expecting 3 teams at 5 points. Did someone read the tie
But what
break?
about the junior mechanics thing? The junior mechanics, they still had a chance too, I think.
To
'Cause
get,
they were at 4 points. It's got some of their tiebreak. The Colty team, did they win? Yeah, they won. So they had better tiebreaks. Look at the tiebreak points that Can We Woo It had, though.
They had 48.75, like
Yeah.
5 points ahead of their competition. Oh, well, Excel was their competition. Oh, but Fluffy Unicorns, they would have had pretty good
I can't figure
breaks.
this stuff out. I can't figure this tie-breaking stuff out. The games are almost finished here anyway, folks, and our broadcast will end at 8 o'clock.
Derek Yu has gone under. Derek
Okay,
Wu.
Derek Wu has lost the game in this manner. King B8, D6, and then checkmate with a white
Pawn to
queen,
D6.
pawn to D8 mate coming up here. That leaves Rochelle Wu in a complex position. What happened here? Knight E4. Black didn't play knight takes G3, but
Queen
instead
F5.
played Queen F5.
And I like what Rochelle did, keep the blockade,
Queen
Queen
E2.
E2. So,
Black is toying with the idea of playing knight F4.
well, now this game is becoming unclear. The knight on C can jump into D6, the C pawns loose. Her king doesn't seem so unsafe anymore. So,
It's a wide open game.
yes, we were writing them off, but Rochelle
Right.
has come back.
Yeah,
I think Gabriel should have taken knight takes G3.
and then played E4 maybe. Yeah, F pawn, I get it, but my brain is too fuzzy to figure out the board scores and the opponent's match scores, and I can barely figure out the recaptures, the obvious recaptures.
Okay, top team is Sonnenborg, Berger, cross product of match scores and opponent match scores. Okay,
Yeah, we had that piece of paper. Oh, here we go. Final score for the opposing team multiplied by the number of points scored against that team. Anyway,
well, we actually have someone has calculated that out as of last round. And the Can We Woo It has the best tiebreak. So even if they lose, they ought to take second place.
Although, couldn't somebody catch them with tie-breaking?
Yes,
maybe
but
not.
it takes rather a miracle for everything to break your way.
Okay.
The Colty team, looks like they would be third place because the Fluffy Unicorns lost their match.
All right, well, this match is tied up now, and we've got Rochelle Wu and Gabriel Bick involved in a dogfight here. I mean, white even has knight c5 here.
That game is now unclear
Yeah.
again.
Although knight g3, king g3, queen f4 mate would be.
Well, then let's take back with the knight on g3.
Okay. Yeah, well, if I play knight c5 here.
Yes.
Okay, so.
No, I want to play rook to a3. I want to get that rook back in the game.
I applaud that. Yes, white should be playing rook a3.
You also have bishop takes a4, and then you have to play rook to c3. But then the bishop's far on that side of the board.
And that's what's happened. So knight d6 is possible. If I was white, I would play knight c4, d6 probably.
Yes, so that the rook can take on c5.
But then knight g3.
And then you simply go knight takes g3.
Oh, I see. Yikes.
Complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
And then the queen attacks the knight.
Well, wait a minute. Now, if knight g6, knight g3, queen takes c2.
Aha, okay.
Okay, that doesn't work.
We don't want to sacrifice the exchange. Rook takes a4. We're not to that stage yet.
We might be.
If rook to c3 is the move bishop to b3, but that's nothing special.
Maybe.
You do rook takes a6.
Maybe bishop to b5.
And then you can go pawn to b3 and hold those.
Wow, that would be a miracle.
You're pawn down, but then you're getting all these solid white squares. So
Complicated game, folks, on board one. Rochelle Wu has sat there. It's very impressive.
she's
She
got
sat
good
on
nerves
board one the entire event.
against all these
Against
high
all the, it's very impressive to see that.
one cool 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Let's see the board 3.
Board 3. This is a crucial game for the. And black is still pressing here. Just white opened up the queen side a little bit. And that was good because it made b5 a target, perhaps.
Yes, that's good. Pawns are even. White has this nice e5 square, and you should do something
Black
about
does,
it.
yeah.
Sorry, black has the e5 square.
Bishop h5, maybe?
That's active, or just bishop back to f1.
Black is pressing.
Just a little bit better for black.
Okay,
And black is higher rated.
yeah. And has more time.
Oh, 1 minute left for
White has
Sachin
1
to
minute
make.
for 10 moves.
Tough situation.
Okay, and we'll go back to this game. This was oh no, this was no longer an important matchup.
It looks like
White needs to win the game for them to tie the match, but that tying the match won't bring them any glory.
no.
I don't think. But were there any other games ongoing? Okay, we have the junior mechanics team was down a game, so everything hangs on this game of the young Boldy is going to be able to win.
Oh, he's
And the junior mechanics team will end up with 5 points.
well. Sorry, do they tie the match?
Oh, no. If they tie the match,
If he wins, do
they'll end up with 4.5 points.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a good score out of 6 out of 6.
Well,
4.5 out of 6.
promise for the junior mechanics.
Yeah,
Promise for Mission San Jose.
yeah.
So some of the youngsters have done really well here.
We'll go. Shall we just keep on these top boards here, Nick, till the end of?
Okay, knight d6, attacking the queen. But I think you go knight takes g3. Because then after knight
Yeah, it
takes
seems to
g3,
lose tactically.
well, knight takes g3, white must play knight takes g3, and the queen can go to,
C2.
oh my.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, she just blundered.
Unless there's some flashy attack with queen a6 and queen e6 or something. So knight g3, knight f5, knight e2, knight e7 check, and rook e2.
It's down. No, that looks like a terrible blunder. And anything but that. Yeah, knight takes g3. You can't go king takes g3, queen f4 mate. Can you move the queen? No, some...
So what about knight g3, knight f5, knight e2, knight e7 check,
king to f7.
King f7, and then rook a4. I guess you've got to play rook a4 there.
Rook a4 and
Oh
then
no, you can play rook e2, right? Rook takes e2.
rook takes, oh, he's
And
done
black's
knight
done it.
g3. Oh, poor Rochelle Wu, that's
The only move is knight f5. If king g3, queen f4 mate. If knight g3, queen takes c2. That's not, tactics are working for black here.
Is there any kind of rook sacrifice? Knight takes g3, queen takes c2.
Queen
some-
a6, right? Or trying to come in queen g4. Oh, you can't play queen g4 because the rook is at b4. I'm trying to get my queen over to a square over there.
Oh no, just terrible blunder, terrible blunder.
Knight f5, knight e2.
Knight e7 check.
Yeah,
is
they're
forced.
the weaknesses in tactics here for the Wu clan. They've gotten a little sloppy on board 1 and 2.
The question was, can we woo it? And they were so close, but it was.
And this game now probably just needs to be drawn by black.
23 seconds for Sekhan Chimeg.
To make 8 moves. But she's done well to sort of hold this, I think. But black doesn't need to be ambitious here.
Well, she just needs to make the time control as her first.
Rook d4 looks like a strange move, in a way, too. But, okay, it looks about equal.
But in this situation, you win the team event if you can win that position.
Yeah.
So you don't agree a draw.
This is a bit of a tragedy for Rochelle here.
Yes, yes.
Knight
that's-
d6 was a blunder, I think.
Yes. The position was quite unclear
So-
after rook c3.
Yeah, maybe rook c3 or sacrificing the exchange even would have been better, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a lot of pressure from black, and then falling for this is discouraging.
Yes. And I can't see anything at all. Knight takes g3, queen c2, queen a6 may be best.
Right. And then hoping to get in with the queen to e6 or something, but
You're a
on
full
the
rook
wrong
down,
side.
but
yeah.
well, she should try it. Play for the team.
Yeah.
Knight g3, queen c2, queen takes a6. Do you play pawn to e4? Trying to get the bishop into play. Oh,
Allows rook takes a4. Oh, no, no, no. What am I thinking?
maybe
yeah.
you play queen a7, trying to get a check.
If you check, it might be mate. We're trying to find something for Rochelle here. She's in trouble.
She's down to hope chess there.
A hope chess. And here is Psych Hanshemeg Sogsaken desperately trying to hold on here, but she's under a lot of pressure too. Rook e1 with the idea, well, I don't know.
Yes, I kind of like rook e1.
Trouble for white here too.
Maybe that bishop should come back to c2. But yes, it's
Black's coming, f4 is coming too.
f4, yes.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a dramatic finish.
Yeah, we're almost,
Yeah, things will be done before the time control.
well, I can't predict who's going to be, not being an expert on the Sonnenberg, you know, tie-breaking and all that, but it's clear that the BCS Best Chess School, if they win this match, is going to win with 5.5 points. Sevillano's team had a chance to get there, but has lost the match.
Yes,
the best they can do is tie the match.
XL2 had played so well, and well, they just.
And you know, the best they can do is tie the match by winning this game with white, and that's unlikely to happen.
Well, it's simply impossible. Yes.
So.
But that looks like at least a clean draw. So.
Yeah. Rochelle is thinking here.
Oh, nothing helps. Queen a6, knight checks, king, maybe queen a6.
Queen a6 now, and if bishop, oh, I see, the queen is attacked. There you go.
There's maybe queen to f4, sort of forcing knight to g. Well, queen to f4, you have rook f2. Try queen a6. You've got to try something. Knight f1 check, king to g1. Well, okay.
Yes, queen a6.
Desperation, but not resignable yet.
Queen a6 is an inspired shot. And if queen f4, rook f2?
Rook f2, allowing double checks, allowing things, but
as long as the black queen is attacked, white can still play on.
White can hope.
Okay, let's see. Rochelle's letting her time roll down, and here is. Uh-oh, she's lost a piece.
Bishop
to
got
the pin.
And that's.
Let's see how this happened. Rook d1. Oh, I'm sorry. Rook d1, and black plays g4, and that sets up g3 check.
Okay, with 9 seconds left, she lost a piece. And
after rook d1, yeah.
She
Black is applying a lot of pressure here.
She should have played bishop d1 instead.
Yeah. This pin of a g pawn doesn't help because this should be a relatively straightforward technical win for black.
A piece for one pawn. So we're counting on Rochelle now to win the game.
Okay, white needs.
I mean, it's somehow maybe that helps you a bit. That rook takes a4, but that's knight takes queen.
Knight takes queen.
Okay, this is a rook down, isn't it? Knight takes queen on e2. White needs to take the queen. Knight takes.
And then, actually, white could think about playing rook takes b4.
Oh. Paul. Okay. Knight takes e2. Rook takes b4. Excellent.
And if queen f4, check g3.
G3. Well, okay. She's found some hope. Some hope. Of course, you could just go rook takes a4, but All right, rook
I'm
takes
not-
b4. Well done, Paul. Now, if rook takes b4, knight takes f5, pawn takes f5,
And White's still losing.
and unfortunately, it's a piece down.
Although there's some murky hope there, I guess.
Yes, maybe she should have tried queen a6 instead.
Does black wanna? So what we're looking at here is rook b4, knight f5, and then g takes f5. Is there some way for the white d pawn to go in? Or take on c5 and then take on a6, or I don't know.
Rook takes b4, knight takes f5, pawn takes f5, knight takes c5,
Knight d4.
knight to d4.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Well, I think we have...
We're still finding moves for white, though. It's amazing.
I think Berkeley's best chess school has lived up to their name.
Well,
And can we woo it was so close.
black is moving in for the kill here, or at least moving in for the d5 pawn. Still going to be technical issues, but
Oh, very minor.
yeah, okay.
Minor. Yeah, we can...
Rook takes b4, and it says white's time is moving. I'm not sure why. Does maybe white forgot to punch her clock, or some other moves have been played?
Pawn takes b4.
Pawn takes b4.
Well,
I'm
I
just
guess
repeating what you said. I guess thinks that's.
also seems to win a piece.
Oh,
Something's...
is it possible that white has resigned? What happened there? That was very strange.
It is possible that white has resigned.
This game is still in progress. This game, which white needs to win in order to tie the match, is still in progress. Nothing much going on there. All the other matches have finished, with Nicholas Boldy being the hero of the day
For the young mechanics.
for the young mechanics team, putting them at 4.5 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. They tied the match. BCS Chess School is going to win completely on score. They're going to have 5.5, and no other team is going to have 5.5. So
Yes. Excel would have had a chance. but-
white resigned.
Okay.
So that means that white must win this game to tie the match, and that's just not going to happen. I don't think.
It's resignable for white in this position.
A tragic. They finally met their match in Berkeley. Berkeley beats Berkeley.
Well, it was a dramatic match, and really it was going their way. I thought after Brian Doyle got that
Yeah.
first game in that they had terrific chances. But
Folks, we're going to end the broadcast in 15 minutes. If you have any thing that you want to, we're thanking all the people that have been watching this. The Mechanics Institute Chess Club is putting on the U.S. Amateur Team West Championship 2020 here in Burlingame, and everybody's watched. We're very appreciative. This has been a dramatic event. Met some interesting people down here. I just had some good food for down here in Burlingame.
Well, everybody had great fun at the event. You know, these
Yeah.
team events are. Well,
I've never
Reka,
attended
can
one.
you join us for
Yeah,
the?
Reka, come sit down and tell us. We'll get you.
Brought my sanity.
And do you know
Good.
anything about the tie-breaking systems? Like, have you been following any of this?
Yes, so we're using the U.S. amateur team tie-breaking system, which, it actually says it over here, just so I
Right.
don't
Yeah. Well, it's
say
like I
anything.
can't understand that stuff.
So I don't say anything
I need a
incorrect.
human
so,
being to explain it to me.
Final score of the opposing.
Reka Starry here,
Oh.
who's a tournament director, is having difficulty as well. Explain. No, I'm making it more difficult than
Well,
it is.
these were the scores before last round. So
Yes. So in round 6.
Round-
Oh, right. It's standings beforehand. Yes. So we actually we use a U.S. amateur tie-break system. It has some fancy math in it. I don't want to try to explain it because if I explain it wrong, then it's going to be out on the internet.
Nah, don't bother.
It's out on the internet, and then who knows what can happen with it. Oh,
All right.
I am.
So let's take 1 minute.
All right, and then we're gonna
Far more qualified
talk
people
to
have
these
walked in, so-
guys, and okay, we'll be back in 1 minute and with some very impressive winners of the tournaments. We think. We are back with, the very likely winners of the U.S. Amateur Team West from the Berkeley, what do you guys call yourselves
Best
again?
Chess School.
Best Chess School. Okay, Gabriel Bick and Ladia Jirasek. Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Jurassic.
Jurassic,
Yes.
Okay, cool. The two IMs, the mainstays of the team. What was your final score?
We ended with, well, we will end with 5.5
Right,
if Ryan wins.
But your individual
Oh, individual.
score.
I ended with 5.5 as well.
Nice. Really nice. Especially you're on board 2
Yes.
the entire time? And your individual score?
5.
Right.
5 out of 6.
With
Wow.
the one loss to being to Sevillano.
Yeah.
And a game which you probably should have won.
Yeah.
Nice. Really good result, you guys.
How did you feel going into the last match here? I mean, it's playing for the championship.
Very tired.
Well, especially for Gabe, his round was the very last, the round before, so he got extra time too, because his game finished at 3:20 or so, and when the next round was supposed to start at 3:30. But for me, I mean, I was also tired. 3 days takes a lot out of you, but I've been in this situation before with Gabe on my team actually a few years ago, and we lost that one, so we want to come back and avenge that loss from 2 or 3 years ago
It
and
looks like
try and
you're gonna
finally
do it.
win.
And
Yeah.
you're going to do it with the help of
Ryan.
teammate Ryan, who
Yeah.
is grinding this one out.
Mhm.
Well, he only needs to draw anyway.
That's
for you
true.
to-
Right.
Yeah.
And it's good that he has a lot more time because he can really make sure that everything goes according to plan and he
Right.
doesn't make any blunders.
Okay. I want to ask, can we go to your game
Sure.
first? Here we got 15 minutes or so. Let's just check out this, because Nick and I had some, and you're, what's his name was in here? The IM.
Derek Wu. That was my opponent.
No.
Oh.
Kieran was in here and said that he had looked at this with Jarek, interestingly enough. So we were.
You can explain to us the theory of this.
I'd rather not. I was kind of lost after
20
20 moves or no, like lost. I didn't know what to do after 20
Right.
moves. You could probably see by looking at my time where I was down almost an hour at one point.
But all that time spent really was worth it, I think. You saw
I
more
think so.
deeply into the
Yes.
position than he did.
Mhm.
And he may have had an equal game, but he made a couple of...
Well,
so
B-
A4,
B-
Queen E8 is strong.
Isn't the position after B4 like the starting position?
Yes,
Yes,
this is
yes.
theory.
And yeah, and after queen takes b4.
Rook E8 is apparently the right move, or one of the moves.
I think, yeah, rook e8 or rook c5, I think. I haven't looked at this line in a while, which is probably a mistake on my part, because a lot of people seem to play it nowadays. But after rook b8 and queen d4...
White seems to get an edge.
Yeah, and queen a5, I was surprised by this move. I thought I could just take the free pawn on e7, but it seemed to be a lot more complicated than I thought.
Still blitzing, right?
Yeah, he was still moving really fast.
As though he'd found some horrible new analysis.
That's what I thought.
Right. But it seemed that Black, you made a mistake somewhere in here, but maybe this all seemed logical. And like you were getting an advantage here. Any thoughts here?
I really think he played all the only moves. I didn't see anything better for him. Also here, I think queen d4 is really the only try. We looked together at queen b4 instead, but then after queen a7, it seems to get really hairy, and Black might start to take over.
Okay, interesting.
And then, yeah, after queen d4 and queen b5, I felt the only try was to trade rooks and hope for the best in the queen endgame.
Well, how about queen to d3?
Queen d3, what if...
Queen a2 or something?
Well, he can't play queen a2 right now, but...
Here.
Yeah. Could make queen a5.
And
check.
then king to e2?
And then queen a2.
Hitting the b2 pawn and the b3 pawn.
I felt like if I ever defended it with the
then-
rook, like rook d2, he'd play queen b1 and kind of try and sneak his queen in.
Yes, I'm not sure about that. Maybe the king just
Well,
walks
as it turned
over.
out, rook c1, even though it lost 2 pawns, was a brilliant move.
Well, no, okay.
Go ahead, Nick. What were you?
I think you get a drawn position after this, but this is for theory. It's
Yeah. I mean, it seemed much simpler to play this with 29 minutes than to play the complicated thing with queen and rooks on. And I knew with that kind of position, I would definitely take a lot more time and probably end up...
well, you can never lose this. You're just a little ahead in the race.
Black plays this okay, but now makes things very difficult for himself. I don't know that it's lost, though.
Really?
I think Nick and I might have found a resource,
certainly that's a bad
but
move,
we might be
yeah.
wrong.
Yes, I think he should not have traded queens.
Right.
Because
Because you're winning, maybe.
I think
so.
so. I
Yeah.
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this pawn endgame is winning for white somehow.
And Paul came up with an idea, not that.
What about
was-
h5?
I would play e5.
I thought king b5.
I think king b5 only draws.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You get some queen ending.
Yeah.
It is slightly better.
Okay, so maybe you're right. Maybe it is So did we look at e5? Does that lead to the same thing after de5, king c5?
No, after d takes e5, then I would play king b5.
Then king b5.
I think so. I think this
Well,
was the one.
or king c5 would be the same.
I think
H5,
king c5 would be
E5.
different because he doesn't have to play king c8. After king b5, I think he has to play king c8.
Because otherwise b7, king c7, king a6.
Yeah.
But
And then the d pawn goes in.
Mm-hmm.
What?
what move were you first saying?
Well, I think we looked at h5, king b5,
h4.
h4, and you like you said, the queen, king. What was it? b7, king c7, e5. I'm a little confused. I thought we found something, but now that I'm looking at it again, I'm not sure.
No, that was sort of a hope anyway. So seems that he just traded into a lost king.
He traded
ending.
into a lost king and pawn ending. He didn't look, and he had a lot of time too. And
Yeah.
it took a lot of time.
Yes.
I think he might have missed the idea with e5, because
Yeah, I think that was it.
right, really the thing is, if he's going to calculate it all throughout the end with f5, he has to see that if he pushes the f pawn all the way down, a queen would check, play queen c7, and then queen e7, and then queen f8, and skewer the king to the queen.
Right.
So he has to see all the way down there, which already is like 10 or so moves.
But it's a
But
straight
I
line.
think he could do it. He had a lot of time.
He
Sure.
he did spend from 106 to, so
Yeah.
that's almost 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Queen b6 here, or queen e1 check.
Probably queen b6. That's what he was considering as well.
And then
it
queen
seems a little,
d4.
yeah, it seems yes, queen d4.
Mm.
It seems a little hard for white to make progress, but I think that would be the better decision for him. Because queen b6, queen d4, maybe I can maneuver my queen around, play b5, and get my king in.
And play queen c6. Yeah.
Exactly. My pawn always seems faster.
Right.
And if it ever gets down to tempo, I will always queen would check, unless he spends time to move his king.
Right. It turns out to be difficult.
But the queen, and then you played this so nicely. It's here, pawn, and he thought king. Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
Now there's
what he
no
played.
hope. Yeah. f6 would just lose to king b5.
Exactly. Just by one tempo. Almost all of these lines were winning by just one tempo.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of times where he will queen, but then I will queen with check, or he will queen and I'll have my d pawn blocking the check, or I'll queen and then he'll queen, but then it will be my turn and I'll be able to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all those crazy lines, just one tempo away from being a draw.
And here, such a nice move. You just charge ahead. Give him
Classic
4
breakthrough.
protected pass pawns.
Yeah.
But Very
Nice for the folks back home. This was the finish.
Right, and if he plays f4 instead,
Right.
then I have
D6, F3.
F3, B7, F2, B8 queen, F1 queen, queen C7 check, king E6, queen E7 check, king F5, and then queen F8, and I win the queen.
That variation was pointed out by Nick earlier in the broadcasts.
well, and apparently Derek Wu saw it too. So he
Plays king C8 and then king C6, and now black is going to get checkmated. Nice game. All right,
Thank
let's look at your game, Gabriel, just for a second
Yeah,
here.
I want to see how you won that. But it looks
Oh
like it
my,
ended.
this was quite a battle.
It was a mess.
It was
This
a
was
mess,
great.
but
Was this my prep?
A little bit.
All right.
You really played for imbalances.
Yeah.
so I guess White can do without A4 if Black's going to play B5 and White's not going to take anyway. I guess there are alternatives here for White, but
Yeah, he can take the pawn, but Black gets good compensation anyway. So,
sure.
yeah.
I actually think taking the pawn is slightly better than not. Just because in the ensuing line there's no pawn hanging on A4 in the ends.
Yeah.
And there's some variations if you saw where that makes a big difference.
I had a question here though. I mean, she just went right after your pawn and played kind of maybe a little. But what about
Bishop to F4.
what about
first,
Bishop F4 here?
before Queen E to E?
No, with the Queen on E2.
Oh.
Because what about Bishop F4 here? And if Knight E8, then pawn to E5. And while the rook is at F8 and sort of trying to.
Yeah.
Bishop F4 looks like it. White was just too quick to take on C4. It didn't do anything, sort of.
Yeah, I definitely think it could have been more precise somewhere around here with
Doesn't Bishop F4 look strong?
just, yeah, probably something other than Queen A5. I was thinking of Rook B8, but wasn't sure about just F4 ideas, I think. So, I mean, yeah, it was kind of hard for me to decide what exactly was the right way.
What happens after Bishop F4, Knight E8?
Pawn to E5,
E5,
maybe,
E5.
for
It's a little
White?
annoying.
Just to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
White playing on the Queen, White retake, this just seemed like.
You get a nice Benko gambit.
Yeah, this
here.
worked out
I was
really
happy
nicely
to
for
get
Black.
this.
Yeah, no, it looks like she's not doing anything really.
Yeah.
But still, it's a very tense game. I mean, she's.
You know, White maybe should just play E5. Just do it.
Tell us what you were thinking about in the position.
Yeah, I mean, here I wasn't really thinking about too much because I was just making all the natural moves.
Nice to play Knight E8 when your rook is at B8 too.
Yeah, I kind of would have liked to play, Knight D7, Knight E5, but felt a bit slow to me. It was really probably a couple moves later, like after.
This is not a move that. This is a move I'm sure White would regret. This
Yeah.
rook A2 move.
It seems like she just wanted to get off that long diagonal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just getting a bit stuck after like rook B3, rook C2. I was kind of floundering a bit because it
You could have gone back to D8 right away.
Yeah, Queen D8.
I had the idea of Knight C7, A8, B6, C4.
Yeah, I was considering something like that, but
too ridiculous.
I think also defending D6 was a problem there, possibly. Yeah, so I mean it forces me back, but I was happy to get F5, and then after F takes E4, I thought she should play
Knight takes
E4 and just
get some
go
piece
for it.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, just get activity even at the
Right.
cost of some material.
She's trying to hold everything together, but
Yeah, because I was very happy with this.
yeah, this must be.
Well, it's still. Now Black seems to really be taking over the initiative, but.
Was there something that White could have tried here?
Well,
I don't
it's-
remember.
It's tough. What
We
if
were
bishop,
looking, we
what if
spent some time on
bishop
this.
to G3 here?
Yeah, bishop G3. I think I was intending.
That's right. We're not good at this.
I think rook F8.
Right, right. I remember that.
And then,
right.
and then if
To-
queen C1,
Those,
Oh,
the
the
knight's
knight's
hanging.
hanging,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, that was always a problem. The knight staying on C4.
so she'd have to go queen D3 on.
Yeah,
on look.
and knight H5 or something is.
Yes, that's when it got really interesting.
Yeah.
Seems like you really, say bishop G3, rook F8, queen to D3, knight H5, bishop takes D6, but you have every piece in the attack.
Yeah.
Does it work though?
To play rook c4 and then bishop e5 check or something like that.
Oh, maybe that's.
Oh, that's very
maybe.
nice.
I mean, I didn't see anything super concrete, but yeah, I mean, there's also, I guess, yeah, bishop G3, rook F8, queen D3, knight H5, bishop takes D6. I can try knight F4.
Yes, knight F4. Probably have to give up the bishop.
Yeah. But it's really a mess.
Maybe Rochelle was trying to keep winning chances alive somehow, just in case her team needed her to win.
Yeah, it's possible.
It seems like a lot of the variations we've been looking at to give back material and try and get some piece play, maybe there aren't as many winning chances. I'm not sure. It could have been some kind of team mentality thing that decided how she played, maybe.
I mean, I think E5 was
A good try,
yeah,
but still,
from a practical perspective.
but still, this rook at a2 is making
Yeah.
things
really
hard.
trying to slow me down.
That one piece changes the whole position. The rook on A2.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah, so this is the last position I saw after knight to E4.
yeah, here it started just becoming totally one way. And
So if queen f5, maybe something like
Maybe
that.
yeah, bishop takes E5 and the pins.
Yeah,
Maybe.
pin
yeah,
is.
queen E2 I think is
Yikes.
totally forced. There's queen D3. There's knight takes G3.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, queen e2. Queen f3. I'm just looking at any possible alternative.
Queen F3. I think they're.
Bishop a4 again.
Yeah, bishop A4 is strong in all the lines.
Yeah,
Could you play
this is
rook
just-
F8 as well? After queen F3?
Queen F3, rook F8. Maybe.
The rook. Look at these rooks. Ugh.
Well, it went one more, queen there, bishop takes, and then here she
Yeah.
made a mistake.
She blundered.
And the game's over. If she
Yeah.
goes rook C3, you've
Oh,
now,
that's the net.
now gotten a pawn up.
Yeah, rook
Yes.
C3, I think I was calculating bishop B3.
Rook A6.
Yeah, rook A6, there was.
Bishop c4 and rook b2.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, and yeah, always with these. There are always some, like, knight d6, rook takes e4, tactical problems for white, or, in this specific case, knight takes g3, just a lot of pieces hanging everywhere.
Well, she could rook C3, bishop B3, rook A6. I mean, it's bad, but
Yeah.
white's sort of holding there.
Yeah.
Also, with 14 minutes left, even though there's still 5 moves, with 14 minutes in this really complicated position against stronger opposition.
Oh, Gabriel put so much pressure on her.
Right,
Pressure,
right. She's
pressure.
been defending for the last
Yeah.
10 or 15 moves or so, and that's got to take a toll, especially when you have low time.
No, that was a real
Yeah, it was
King's
well
Indian
played.
Benoni
Mhm.
game. You just
Yeah.
Knight
Yeah.
d6
Make the
fails
pre-
to the shot knight g3.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very convincing.
Oh, so that's how it ended. Just 2 more moves after.
And then White
Yeah, she
White
tried to
doesn't even
kill
have
me
a
some
move
stuff.
here, I think. We were trying to make knight g3, queen c2, queen a6 work or something, but
Yeah, I was kind of expecting queen takes a6.
yeah, or
then-
queen takes a6 here, yeah.
Yeah,
But it can't work, really.
yeah.
Rook a4 is just another, and then after this, rook b4.
She's trying.
She's trying.
Yeah.
Hoping for queen f4 check, g3 maybe, but instead this,
Yeah, just an extra piece.
yeah, an extra piece. So
Nice.
yeah, well done. You kept your head.
So we see if it's official. the
Yeah, let's
last
Yeah,
see.
game.
is Ryan still playing? Wow, Ryan's still playing. She's fighting.
She's fighting.
Well,
She needs to win this game in order for you guys to lose.
Mhm.
Well, you
So that's not going to. Oh no.
can play queen.
Yeah,
e1.
because the match would be tied.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
I mean, Ryan could really just set up some bishop d5, queen e4, and then sack on g2.
yes.
Yeah.
For example, yeah.
I mean, he always has the perpetual, but I know Ryan. He's not gonna take a draw against a lower rated player when he's up a piece just to win for the team. He's gonna win this one.
What do you guys think of the upset on, before we leave, this incredible upset on the, where this
Wow.
team went 4-0.
Wow.
Mission
Wow.
San Jose went 4-0 against UCB Team 1.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was,
Where they were hugely outrated on the
Yeah,
first
that's
three boards.
wow. That's crazy.
yeah, unbelievable.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look at those games, see what happened.
That's team
That's-
chess.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, and this game, we'll just look at this game to give you a taste of this. This
Ganesh
was
is always
this is
dangerous.
one of the
25
worst.
moves. Wow.
But it could have been over even sooner. Watch this. Black plays the rat.
Wow.
And as Nick pointed out, c4 is impossible because of queen d4. But I guess, but this is, I think White could have played bishop e6 here. But
A threatening mate,
Yeah.
but a nice
Yeah.
shot.
Nice.
Black is a whole rook down, but still plays on for a move or two. He even has to offer the exchange of queens or rook down. So, amazing.
Wow. Man, what was Joshua doing? I haven't seen him play that. Here, does he normally do that? I thought he was an E5 player.
E5, French. I've
This
never
was
seen
out
him
of his
play.
comfort
He
zone.
thought he'd really want to win today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's-
Anyway,
So let's, as we
Sum it
see the
up.
standings, the BCS Best Chess School from Berkeley has, well, not officially won, but unless some absolute miracle happens, they are first with 5.5 out of 6.
beating their fellow brother-sister chess team in the
Yeah.
final round.
And Can We Woo It, who led all the way with 5 points, they finished with 5, and they
Probably
are
second on
almost,
tiebreak.
almost sure to be second on tiebreak.
Right.
The Colty Club has finished very well. They also finished with 5 points, and they should be third on tiebreak.
What about Enrico's team, the XL Chess Club?
They,
How'd they do?
They lost.
To Colty,
They
in
lost
this
to
round.
unless this game is won by White,
Right.
Oh.
which it wasn't going to be won by White at almost any point. So,
Well, I mean, if this were an online game, you play rook takes h4 and hope for rook h1 pre-move. But sadly, that's not the case.
so you guys are live to fight another day in the finals. Good luck. Yeah. You're
Thank
gonna
you.
have
Congratulations.
some
Thank you.
grandmasters competition and all that stuff. It's gonna be fun.
Yes, you You're representing the West here.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. And really great individual results too for you,
Thank you.
guys. Like,
Yeah, we got so close last time, but this time we finally get the win.
yeah,
A few years ago, it was Jack Zhu, me, Gabe, and Kevin Yanofsky, and we were going to the last round. We had to win the whole thing, just like this one. But we ended up just losing 2.5, 1.5. So this time we can come back and hopefully, if Ryan wins,
we're
win
going
it
to
this
take
time.
before we leave. We're just going to take one more look at the game that your teammate is sure to win or at least draw, and ensuring you guys have the title. So congratulations, and Jim Eade of the Eade Foundation says good luck, guys.
And congrats from FPON.
Yeah, you're getting congratulations all over the place.
Thank you.
All right.
The 49ers didn't do it, but you guys did.
All right. Good night from the Mechanics Institute Chess Club here in Burlingame. U.S. Amateur Team West Championship is drawing to a close. Full results you can find in Chess Life and on our website, chessclub.org, at some point tomorrow. All right.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.